Catherine Song by George W. Johnson. As I was coming around the corner, I heard some people say, here comes the dandy darky, here he comes this way. His heel is like a snowplow, his mouth is like a trap, and when he opens it gently, you will see a fearful gap, and then I laugh. I got Daddy from Larry. I got Daddy from Larry.
Deputy Liam Patterson tore through the thick fog that had moved in from the ocean with speed. Despite the danger, he rounded each bend and curve of the winding coastal highway that bordered the sea with white knuckles. His headlights shone barely 30 feet before him as he drove, now almost an hour south of Leary. South of his home, south of his wife and child, and thankfully, south of the Queen Mary, the cruise ship that had washed up early this morning and where he had spent most of this day. The same fog had covered the beach that housed the Queen Mary, which sat like a monument on the sand, a pillar of terror so thick with fog that only the broken hull could be seen, its top lost within the wispy white of the cloud. For a moment, his mind drifted back to the hallways, the carnage, the terror. And as he rounded another corner, Will Conway, who sat in the passenger seat, could no longer keep his concern silent. "Patterson, slow down, please," he pleaded, his hands desperately clutching to the seat. For a moment, Deputy Patterson ignored him, his mind still towards the cruise ship that had washed upon the shores of their small town, until suddenly he slowed, both men lurching forward slightly as he did. "Thank you," Will Conway said, as he let his grip loosen on the seat. But Patterson slowed not because of his passenger's request, but because of what lay before them. Eventually the car slowed to a stop, and Conway looked to what Patterson's eyes fell upon. The thick fog that seemed too dangerous to drive in fell into almost a curtain before them. The wall-like denseness of the fog looked almost like a frozen waterfall, thick and white and impassable. It sat before them across the highway, wisps of lighter fog licking off of it. "Have you ever seen a fog like that?" Patterson finally said to Conway. "Never. You?" Conway answered sheepishly. "Never," he answered back as he exited the car, the headlights illuminating the thick wall of fog as he walked towards it. "What are you going to do? Walk to Arkham for help?" Conway asked as he stepped out of the car as well. Patterson continued to the wall, almost in a trance, before stopping and turning around. "They were the ones that said they couldn't find us. A whole fucking town lost," he said angrily before turning back towards the wall of fog. He hid the look of fear on his face from Conway. "Maybe they weren't full of shit," Will Conway said. "Yeah, well, I'm gonna find out," Patterson said, and stepped into the fog. As if underwater, he moved slowly, the swirls of curling smoke impossible to see against the all-consuming gray-white of the fog curtain, lit by the late afternoon light. As he moved deeper into the fog, it became darker, until it felt almost like night. Beads of sweat accumulated on the deputy's forehead as he pushed towards the far side where the road continued. In the darkness, the horrors of the ship flashed. In his mind, the piles of blood-soaked bodies frozen in the January air, and the grins cut into so many of the passengers' faces. His mind ran with these images as he pushed through the darkness, the thought of heading back to Conway feeling more and more pleasant with each step forward, until it grew lighter. Through the thick, dense, blackening fog, he could see light, and he ran. Quickly it turned from black to gray to white, and as he reached the edge of the fog, he almost smiled. Lights, civilization, help. He would return with more policemen. with ambulances for the dead, with doctors to help those hurt, more doctors. He would return with everything they need, except the lights were two, side by side. He slowed his run to a walk, and as he exited the fog, he saw Will Conway next to the car, the headlights he had left on shining back at him. "Why did you come back?" Conway said innocently. "I didn't," Patterson said as he turned around to view the wall of fog again. "I kept exactly straight," he said as he backed towards Conway, who looked confused and nervous. "No one is coming to help us, Conway. No one is coming to help clean up the accident or to help us figure out what the hell happened," he said flatly. "We're on our own." As the two men headed back to the car, back the hour-long drive they made to here, the southernmost part of Leary, something stopped them. It was a wave of pain that sent both men reeling and falling to their knees. It was a pulse that shot through both of their minds like daggers. It was a feeling that forced weaker minds to snap and evil souls to grin. In the darkness, you hear beeping, a soft, steady sound that brings a sense of comfort, almost. It brings certainty to an uneven world, a pattern to the chaos you've experienced, and somewhere in the darkness, you feel warm. Petra, in your warmth, you're in a place that you find comfort in. Where is that?
She's in her mother's old sewing room. The light streaming in through the sheer curtains in the afternoon. She can hear her governess in the adjoining room fixing some tea. And there's the smell of peppermint and chamomile and a little bit of, dust. She can hear but not see her mother knitting, which means Petra must be young for her mother to still be around. She's probably 8. The light reflects off of the well-polished, waxed floor. She can feel the throw rug, the thick pile of it underneath her hands.
And this warmth washes over you like a soft light. You hear the sounds that follow this room, and in that you hear horses. They neigh in the distance, and it sends a chill up your spine. You can hear the trotting slow. You can hear the screams that they bellow out in the night. And the warm turns cold, and sweat beads off your skin. Yan, in the darkness, you see a figure. It makes you feel like almost all of this was a bad dream. Who stands before you in the darkness?
It's a friend of mine. Well, she's more than a friend. She's pretty important, but we haven't. I wrote her name down, and I should probably find it. But it's Celeste. She was a nurse during the war. We sort of met, and after a while, she was from Arkham, and that's where I decided to move to. She's always sort of been this voice of comfort and support, and we've grown very close. And there's almost an instinctive, Jan tries to feel around and figure out the ring. Where I bought a ring, I was going to, but then I didn't ask, but then I should find that.
And as you frantically search your pockets, you can't quite find it. And the figure sort of stands there almost with a puzzled look on her face, as if she's waiting for you to say something.
Celeste?
Your voice sort of carries through her. There's a ripple effect to your voice that shakes the image in which she is, and for a second she becomes blurry, and like a wisp of smoke disappears, and standing in her place is your brother. He stands in the darkness, his eyes staring back at you. And he calls.
What are you doing? What are you doing here? You're dead. You can't be here.
Cedric, in the silence of this dark, unknown space, you see a man, his face, a man that you care for. He's smiling, a loving, caring smile. Who do you see?
It's Mr. Dawson, the mailman. He used to come to my house when I was just a young boy, and usually he didn't have mail for me, just bills for my mom and the rest of the people living in the house, but he knew that I loved getting mail, so I didn't understand it at the time, but he brought me letters, and he wrote letters for me. And sometimes he'd include a nickel in it, and I'd be so happy. And there he is, Mr. Dawson, standing right in front of me.
And as you search his face, as your eyes run over the curvature of his nose and the bags under his eyes and the big droopy ears that you are so fond of, it begins to melt away. And underneath is the dark complexion of your mother. And you see her smile, toothy, animalistic, carved upon her face like you've seen so many times. And the face becomes almost like a wall that moves towards you in the darkness. The teeth growing closer and closer and closer towards you. And as you try to turn to escape it, you hear a voice. Each of you, actually, almost. Through that beeping, you can hear a voice as if it's speaking underwater and gurgles. It's distant and far. Why don't you all give me a listen roll?
Yes, sir.
Would love to.
I didn't hear shit.
I succeeded.
I fail.
Yeah. Yan, you hear a man's voice. It sort of sounds like... But you can make out the words, you need to get out of here. You need to wake up. And despite your best efforts to move, you feel every bone in your body just stiff. You barely have consciousness, and the voice once again fades away to that familiar beeping. Until you hear music. I can't forget the night I found you. Playing through an old tweener, an old radio, this song slips into each of your ears as you all manage to open your eyes. Your heads throb as you open your eyes to the dim gray light of day. For a moment you search your mind. It drifts to the attic, the humid basement, the cargo bay of the ship before realizing that the ship isn't moving beneath you. You're on dry land once again.
Please turn it off. I can't. Not that song.
Your voice sort of echoes into this hollow room. Just the sound difference from being on the ship, which was these tight corridors and hallways and small carpet-laden rooms, sounds distinctly different to your ears before you can even open your eyes. And as you do, the light almost hurts your eyes. Groggily, you open them. Yan and Cedric, you see a medium-sized room with double doors at one end and windows along two walls that face outside. 5 hospital beds line the walls as you sort of look around, 3 on one wall, 2 on the other, but only one is empty.
Do I
Cedric?
see Jan? Do I hear him?
Yeah, he's sitting right next to you. You are sort of in the 2 that are against one specific wall.
Oh God, we're alive.
Yeah. Well, to be completely honest, I wasn't happy to see you at first. I thought it might have all just been a bad dream. You'll forgive me.
I can't even. There's so much to take in. It does feel like a bad dream, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And as
You all
you... Sorry, Petra, you hear this talking, these familiar voices, and you open your eyes to a similar sight, but the room you're in is much smaller. You see a bed on either side of you in this room, and a door as well, which is shut. It also looks to be a hospital bed, and you're wearing a gown, and your head is wrapped. But as you turn your head, you see that next to you is one empty bed, and a woman, who's equally groggily turning her head from side to side.
Petra almost can't move. She feels just awful. There's blood crusted the corner of her mouth. One of her eyes doesn't really want to open. The feeling in her head is one of compression and pain. She has this splitting headache, and the lights are too bright. She turns her head and sees this woman, and she just kind of
and
groans.
As you groan, you sort of make a half effort to touch your throbbing head, only to find that both your hands are bound to the bed that you lie on.
Ooh. Where am I?
Yan and Cedric, you hear the voice of Petra speaking out amongst you. She sort of sounds like she's on the other side of the wall in the next room from you.
I hear Petra.
Petra?
Come on. Let's go. I start trying to push myself out of the bed.
Yeah, and you do. You can stand up. You're sore.
Yeah, my stomach is bandaged up with nice clean bandages.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I still wince as I put pressure on my legs that are extremely wobbly, and I start making my way over. How you feeling, Jan?
I think I'm in one piece. I'm certainly pretty bruised up here. Lean on me. We can get over there. Petra, we're coming. Where are you?
What? Jan?
For sake of my poor explanations, I posted a picture in Cthulhu Hands Out for you to understand the two wards of what you're experiencing right now. Petra, you're lying in the middle bed in what is in this picture the female ward, which is, again, roughly what I described. And Yan and Cedric, you're in the two far beds to the far right of this image.
Yeah. Stumble through the door and start towards the
So
way with the other
you
beds.
stand up, and again, very groggy. Your muscles feel like they haven't been used. The two of you are almost in a stupor. Your head's swimming from the side of the room. And as you stand up, you see, again, two people in these three beds on the other side. You immediately recognize one as Abdul, who's lying there as well, but has not begun to stir. The other you don't quite recognize. And as you move towards the door to help Petra, you go to grab it, and it has a little bit of a give, but you realize it's chained shut.
The hell?
I'm going to look around. Are there any nurses or doctors?
No. The state of this room is sort of a bizarre sight. There is the beeping of a machine attached to one of the other patrons in this room. Patients. Well, maybe both. But other than that, it's somewhat in a disarray. The actual visual of this ward is dark painted green plaster walls with sort of thick, almost too thick windowsills. The sort of once white tiles of the floor are sort of a stained off yellow from cigarette smoke, and immediately your eyes glance to the windows outside, and all you see is thick gray. Almost as if a cloud is set around you, the fog so thick outside can only barely let you see the windowsill beneath you. Give me a spot hidden.
Okay. Hard success.
Nice. Okay.
Definite fail.
Oh. I'm going to say two things. Number one, you recognize that the way you're hearing Petra sort of groggily turn side to side is actually through a small transom window, which is above the 3 beds on the far side. For anyone who doesn't know what a transom window is, I googled it. It's because I didn't know the term. It's one of those little half windows that sort of open above doors. Joan knew. She put her hand up.
No, I was just about to say, so tell me about this.
Yeah, you know, you see them a
window?
lot. You see them a lot, and like especially in the 20s, they're really popular. I guess for like heating.
They're directly above a door.
A door. Yes.
It's like the mantle of the door is
Exactly.
It like opens like this.
Exactly. However, in this case, and I did research, they do exist in other places, and this is just above the beds in the male ward, between the male ward and the female ward, above those 3 beds. So it's not above a door. In this case, bad example, I know, but that's what it's called, transom window. You learn a new word every day. The other thing you realize, Cedric, is that the other body in this bed seems a bit familiar, and casting an eye over it, you recognize it as Raymond Blake, the young steward that looks up to you from the cruise ship, the gentleman who had taken Yan's watch.
Right. And so it's the 3 of them in there. It's Petra, familiar lady, and
no.
Raymond.
These are the 2 other men in the room with you. You can only see the transom window and hear Petra on the other side of the wall. Petra, you're sort of groggily turning around. What do you want to do, if anything?
I look down or up, as the case may be. I'm not really sure how my body is oriented in the bed, at whatever is keeping my hands from moving. What am I bound with?
Yeah, so you look down and you have 2 leather bracelets, essentially, that are strapped around either of your wrists and then strapped to the bed. You are lying down, so you are sort of looking down at your body.
Mm-hmm. And she's not really capable of sitting up right now, but she sort of peers down at her feet. Are her feet bound as well?
No.
Just her hands.
Correct.
She hears the shuffling around in the other room. Cedric? Jan? Can you hear me?
We hear you, Petra. We're right next door, but seems like you're locked in there.
Or we're locked in here. There's a chain on the door in any case.
Oh, the
Abdul's
chain's
here.
on our door.
That's what I thought.
Yep, there's a chain on your door. In fact, it's chained from the outside. So as you sort of try to push it, it's like I'm going to say it's a double door. It sort of has a little bit of give, enough to sort of see a crack. But beyond that, there's not too much.
We're going to try to find a way to get to you. I think we're in some kind of hospital without any doctors or nurses, but hospital nonetheless, I think.
Help me.
Hey, what's wrong?
Oh, I'm bound. I can't move. And I feel just awful. I think I've hurt myself. But I can't see.
Damn it.
And Petra, as you're lying there, you hear the woman in the bed next to you sort of stir as well again. What? Where the fuck am I? What's going on? And she sort of looks over to you and sort of like recoils a little bit. What am I doing here? And she also is bound.
Mm-hmm. Oh, who are you?
Oh my, who are you?
I'm Petra.
Okay. Why?
I was on a boat.
The Queen Mary?
Were you on the Queen Mary?
Yeah. Yes.
Something must have happened.
I was a violinist in the music room.
Are you all right? Are you injured?
No, I don't think so. Other than having to hide out for the past... What the hell happened? All I remember is there was...
Yes. Grinners, we call them.
Those fucking psychopaths with big grins upon their faces. That's... Who are you? Hello? And she kind of calls out.
Hello?
Hello? Who are you? What have you done with us?
No, these are my friends.
Okay, well, help us. Untie us. Are you tied up?
We're chained in our room, but not tied down.
Well, and she sort of looks around the wall and says, well, climb through that window. She sort of points to the transom window.
What did she say her name was?
She didn't tell you yet.
So as I overhear them talking...
Cyril McKilly.
Damn it!
Ellen?
Ellen Helen McKilly. No, her name is... well, she'll tell you in a second.
As I'm listening to them talk, I've kind of zoned out and I'm looking at Raymond on the bed. And I remember the look he gave me of almost looking like he was going to run when I confronted him about the watch. And as much as I think he's a good kid with a good heart, I don't think he was the most stable-minded of people that were on that boat. And I look to his wrists. Is he bound at all?
No. No, neither him nor Abdul are bound. Although Abdul's hands are across his chest.
I'm going to look for something to tie Raymond up with.
Sure. And you can find it. Yan, what are you doing?
Is any of our stuff here?
Great question.
What are we wearing?
You're wearing gowns. Delicious open-flapped back gowns.
Silk gowns. Chiffon.
And our personal effects nowhere in sight?
Give me a spot hid.
Would love to spot some hidden. That might even do it. That is a success.
Perfect. No.
Not hidden under the bed. At least I've checked.
Well, hey, you never know. Give me a listen roll, everybody.
Aight.
Oh, yeah. Huge success.
Ooh, hard or extreme?
Extreme.
Oh,
I also
shit.
have an extreme success.
Yeah, okay. So both of you hear a voice coming from sort of the floor below you. While you're not too sure of the layout of this, you have the feeling that beyond both your doors, there must be a set of stairs, because the voice you hear actually sounds like it's coming up the stairs.
What's it saying?
It's sort of doing... How can I explain this? It's like a sing-song. And
I hate that.
I'm good.
Yeah, and and I'm pretending I don't know, because what it's saying is, my tea is nearly ready and the sun has left the sky. It's time to take the window to see Lily going by. And slowly the voice climbs higher and louder as you can hear it climbing the stairs outside.
Listen, do you hear that?
Shit, it's
that guy.
we gotta find the door.
Isn't it that guy? That fucking dude?
Yeah, no, it's him.
Petra.
Help!
Petra.
Oh.
Do you have chains on your door?
I don't know. I can't get out of bed.
And Catherine's sort of like turning back and forth. And she's like, what the fuck are they doing? Help us! And she turns to the thing, and you hear the sing-song stop.
Are there chains on your door? You can see your door from where you are.
No, there's no fucking chains on our door! And she turns to you and says, who are these people? Listen, my name is Catherine Sullivan. I was the ship's violinist. Please tell them to get us the fuck out of here. Who is singing? And she's starting to freak out a little bit.
Catherine, listen to me, please. It's very important that we not attract attention right now. We don't know where we are, or why we're here, or what happened to us, but I recognize that voice, and I think that if he hears us, and he finds us here, we could be in danger.
Give me
Now keep quiet.
Give me a persuade roll with advantage.
Okie dokie. Do.
20.
20. I did it.
You did it. You did the thing. So she sort of nods quietly and, listens to you. And you sort of hear the footsteps. Well, I mean, you can give me a listen roll to see if you still hear anything.
I'm so good at listening.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no problem. That's a hard success.
Hard? What about you, Yan?
Yeah.
Is anyone else listening?
Sure.
I mean, you would have heard all this. I mean, yeah, no.
Yeah.
I'll say this, Petri. You hear someone walking very quietly closer.
Oh no.
Any chance I can fit through that transom window?
Yeah, for sure.
Can I get a bonus die? Because I remember it's called a transom window.
I'm going to give you a bonus die because you're cute, and you can pretend it's for any reason you want.
I was trying to remember what the word was again, and all I could think of was tressum, which is like a winged cat in D&D. So dumb.
51.
51. What am I rolling? I forget what you asked.
Probably dexterity, because you're like climbing.
Yeah, no, that's a fail.
Oh, bummer. Yeah, so you try to climb up the window, and you don't succeed. Yeah, no, you don't succeed. You sort of slide back down a little bit.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, you can call it strength if you want.
I'd succeed if it was strength.
Oh, well then, you know what? Let's do that. Listen, I'm not pigeonholing you. You tell me what you would
Did you say pigeonholing?
Jan puts down the pigeon he was holding, and then uses all his arms to climb up the window, and it's much easier that time.
Yeah, if you want to hold a pigeon to that, I'm not gonna make you hold it. What are you talking about? Listen, if you had strength over dexterity, that's fine. I mean, to me, it could be argued either way, so I'm happy.
All right. Heap myself up through this transom window, squirm down the other side.
Okay, perfect. With good timing. So you land down on the other side, sort of with a blump blump. And
not graceful. We've established that for sure.
Well, yeah. Let's see. Well, you can give me a stealth roll if you want to do it silently. Actually, this will matter a lot. Give me a stealth roll.
All right. I don't know that I even have.
This will matter a lot, says the GM.
Oh wait. Anyways, we're gonna ignore that for. That doesn't help me actually. Anyways, I'm sure I don't have stealth. I roll an extra die. It doesn't matter. I get nothing. Fail.
Okay.
No.
So, yeah, no. I'm gonna say. What are you doing through all this, Cedric? You just sort of standing there?
Well, so I've been tying up.
You've tied him up, yeah, successfully. Yeah.
What's his name?
Raymond.
And I went over to help Jan get out of the window.
Okay.
But he didn't need my help. So I'm going to see if I can wake Ahmed. Or I'm not Ahmed. Abdul. I knew I was going to do that.
Okay, yeah. So you walk over and you start sort of gently shaking him, and yeah, he wakes up pretty quickly, very groggily, similar as you did, and he sort of looks at you and says, What, Cedric, what's wrong? Where are we? Oh, God, my head.
I know, okay, just take it easy. We're in some sort of facility, but there are definitely grinners nearby. I can hear, what's his name? The guy with the axe.
Clarence.
Clarence. Yeah, he's just outside.
Yeah, I'm going to say, Rob, you land just as you hear the doorknob to the female ward sort of rattle a little bit.
I'm going to try and get the bonds off their arms. So starting with Petra. Starting with Petra?
Okay. So, yeah, you run over to Petra, who's only a few steps away from you, and you immediately untie her, and in an instant she's free. However, in this time, the rattling door handle with a click opens, revealing Clarence Turner, the Scottish crewman that you bribed. He stands with the same grin cut upon his face, fresh blood on his shoes and ankles, and he wears the same gown that you do, except he's holding a large pitchfork with blood on the end of it, and he sort of smiles.
Does the door open
inward.
Out toward him?
It's opening inward.
Can we push a bed up against the door to try to brace it?
She is in the bed closest to the door right now.
Catherine is.
Yes.
Oh no.
What the fuck are you doing?
You have a moment.
Use what you got.
You have a decision to make.
Is she the one who we saved from the Grinner?
You've never seen her before. She's a young violinist. She has blonde hair. I won't describe her in case you kill her, but
Push the bed. I think that's
wow.
get something to brace the door. I mean, and at the same time, we can try and
that's fair. You do it. Okay, give me.
I mean, if we successfully push the bed up against the door to the point where the door closes and and Clarence is outside, then
that's definitely the goal, I think.
Yeah, then Catherine won't necessarily be.
I'm going to run up to my door. And I'm going to start banging on it. I'm going to say, "Hey, in here!"
Now that's an idea. There you go.
Voice of an angel.
Look at that. There's a guy that doesn't want to kill people. Okay, I like that.
We were just stalling for time.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say that it definitely, because the hospital right now is so quiet, and this sort of reveal that Clarence is just giving you is really framed well. You know, both Petra and Yan sort of look towards him with wide eyes and agape mouths the moment he opens the door. The scene before them is quite terrifying. It actually does throw him off, and he sort of quickly shoots his head behind him, almost thinking that you've come from behind him. And his attention is momentarily diverted.
Cedric, now! And then
okay,
Petra
and the two of you
on the ground.
And what? Oh,
and Petra falls down.
Okay, so you're just doing it yourself.
No, I'm kidding.
Okay,
I help.
So the two of you push. I'll give you a bonus die to someone who
Sure.
wants to. I guess we'll call it strength, and then probably luck.
What's your strength?
My strength is 40.
I got 55.
Why don't you roll that
You
one?
roll with the bonus, and then I'm gonna roll Catherine's luck.
How do we feel?
That's a success, 20.
Yeah.
That's a hard success.
Nicely done.
And let's see how lucky my girl Catherine is.
I hope
She's
we're lucky.
lucky, right?
Yeah.
She's 20 lucky, which is definitely under her luck score.
That's good.
It makes
She
me really
survived
happy.
thus far.
I quite like her.
Me too.
She's just like screaming the whole time as the bed is being pushed up against this madman.
So Yan, what happens? You do manage to shut the door sort of on Clarence. I'm gonna say it's not completely successful. The tip of his pitchfork keeps the door open, but you have the bed shutting it on it. Tell me how that looks.
Yeah. So I think there's just a big, there's a push. There's probably lots of yelling. Pushing the edge of the bed. I'm sure Catherine's yelling.
She's screaming.
Pitchfork pinned, and as soon as it's there, I think Jan's trying to like brace it with all his strength and say, untie her.
So Petra leaps across the bed and starts undoing her bonds.
And the minute the first is done, Catherine goes to the other and does it in an instant, even faster than before you can get there. And she hops out of bed and squirrels up the fucking transom, and she's gone before the two of you can even realize what's happened. She's just freaking out, and the two. So you're holding the bed against the door, and you can kind of feel for a second Clarence now pushing back. And he's trying, but he can't quite get the door open.
Jan, is the other room safe?
I mean, we'd be locked in, and Clarence would have a shot at us trying to climb up the. Clarence, will you just fuck off?
And he's like, no, I'm quite interested in what your insides look like, laddie. Wait till I find a axe for me. And he keeps sort of pushing on the door.
Ooh, can I roll a spot hidden in this room, please?
Sure.
Just to see if there's something. I don't think that's been rolled in here yet.
Wow.
Ooh, that's a critical success.
That's an extreme. Yeah.
Yeah, it's extreme and critical, both.
I'm going to say there is nothing. I mean, there is a very light weapon, if you would like, in here. Not an axe, if that's what you're going for, but something light. Additionally, there are the restraints that you think you could easily take off the bed and repurpose.
Okay. But we need some time for that, I would presume.
I'm going to be generous and say you kind of see a way that they unhook pretty easily. Like, they're securely fastened, but they're not necessarily difficult to undo when they're under the bed. They sort of wrap under the bed, so it's one piece. of sort of thick leather that goes around both wrists. That way, when you undo one, the other one sort of pulls out. So it's sort of just
Sure. So we've got 2 of those. We've got 3 beds and some kind of wrench or some other, like...
something like in a hospital that's not super, like something that's going to break after a few uses, you know, maybe like one of those IV stands. A bedpan. That's not bad, actually. They're pretty heavy.
Perfect.
And it's a 20, so you know it's like a fucking lead bedpan.
Oh god, it's made of like radium.
It's just like the strongest bedpan ever.
It's glowing.
Yeah, but he's
radioactive.
pushing. So he's just like slowly wedging this thing open.
Okay, Petra undoes the straps and she whispers to Jan, "We have to go. We have to go into the other room. Follow me." And she abandons him with the bed.
And it becomes a bit
grabbing
tougher.
the weapons and the straps.
Perfect. And you go up and over. Give me a you know what? I'm going to say that by this point, I hope someone, Cedric, even Catherine, is sort of helping you. She sort of pushed stuff up against the wall. In fact, Cedric, as you're sort of at the door rattling to get this guy's attention, Catherine has scampered down, looked towards the 2 men in the bed, grabbed a large dresser, shoved it over to the transom window, and she's back up with her hand over, like waving you over, Petra. And with that, you're the only one left pushing it, Jan, and it's going to be a strength competition. So whoever succeeds at a higher strength.
Sure.
Luckily, his isn't that good. Well, he fails straight out.
Petra is leaving one of the leather straps dangling out the window as like
Beautiful.
a rope to grab onto.
Okay. And yeah, you guys are like matched. It's, you know, immovable object. What is it? Immovable object, impossible speed. I don't remember.
I think that's it.
When an
You're not
immovable
getting in there. You
object,
might as well go look somewhere else.
and he's like,
I can do this all day.
and for a second it sort of stops, but that crack stays open, and you just see his teeth, like in the corner. He's like, "Don't worry, I'm coming for you," and he backs away for an instant, as the tension on the door stops for a moment.
I want to get ready to pull the door back so when he comes through, he doesn't like he's expecting resistance. I want there to be none. So
You want to try to like Acme him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see if that
Something so
works.
he flies and is off kilter and might be giving me enough time to get the fuck out.
Give me a luck roll, an Acme roll. Give me a luck.
Sure.
See if this Roadrunner-esque.
Somebody's giving me XP at some point, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Do you want to use it on this?
Bjorn
You can.
has donated.
Yeah, I'm gonna use that one because
Thank you, Bjorn.
84 is not gonna do it.
Yeah, no.
It's not gonna do it.
So you pull it back and you like wait, and he like opens the door with his foot.
A little too soon.
And he's
Okay.
like,
Okay.
all right, and he walks into the room. I mean, there's still a bit of a distance. You're a whole bed between, but he's like gonna start pushing it. Are you gonna make a mad dash or try to kill him here or what?
You have a bed between you.
Yeah. Well, that plan was not great. So once we're all in that room, then what?
Then we wait him out.
Oh, that's such a bad plan.
We can
I'm
go
going
out the
to-
window of the hospital. We can, we just have to be safe right now. Enough time to think.
I'm gonna reach down for the chains and look at them. What are they? Oh, they're chained from the other side.
They're
right?
chained from the outside, but there's enough gap that you can sort of see them. It's a padlock.
Okay. And it's definitely locked. It's not just like dangling like you do with the shed sometimes.
Make a
It
luck
is-
roll?
It is definitely locked. However, as Abdul is sort of, groggily coming to, his clenched hands are sort of like lightning, and he's looking towards you, and he says, "Is that locked? Because I have a key in my hand. Someone's put something in my hand." And he sort of stands up and comes over to the edge of the bed and walks over to you.
Really? Okay. Can you try to unlock it quietly?
I don't know how to unlock something quietly, but here, and he hands it to you.
We're gonna be making noise no matter what. All right, do it.
No,
shit.
no.
Okay, you're giving it to me.
Yeah, I'm still a bit sore, and I'm also an NPC.
Okay,
and
right.
you are the guy's walking towards you. What are you doing?
I'm I'm gonna try and get the bed between us. Just sort of like ram him with it.
Yeah, ram him.
Okay. He's going to try to dodge.
Sure. Presumably I'm rolling something.
Yep. You roll, I don't know, what do you want? Strength?
Attack.
Ooh, that's really bad. Yeah.
That's really bad.
So that's
This
a critical
is not
fail.
going well.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So, and he succeeds at his dodge. So, Clarence, like, you sort of shove it at him as he half jumps. And his intention wasn't to make it over. But he kind of leans into it. And you actually push the bed under him as he moves forward. And he ends up essentially covering the distance between you in record time because of that. And he's now by your feet with the pitchfork in hand. And he's going to stand up. He's going to try to kill you.
Great.
With a critical success. So you can try
Holy
to...
shit.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What are my options here?
So you can dodge or you can fight back. In this case, I would do
let's
neither. I don't know.
Just surrender to fate.
Yeah, just
Is
take
that the end of Beyond
Dodge is
Cotton?
probably better. It's just a pitchfork.
Yeah,
if
what's
he
it
gets
going to
you-
do, right?
I got a 19 to dodge. I don't know what I'm rolling for that.
That's not bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
So-
a success.
So is it an extreme success perchance?
What stat am I rolling against? It's gonna be the first time.
So you're rolling dodge. It should be in the bottom corner. It should just say
Oh, sorry. It's
Dodge.
its own stat. Yeah. Half of dexterity. Oh, that's not going to do it. My dex is 35, so half is 17.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Okay. So
I'm going to spend 2 luck points, though, if that
well,
seems
no,
like
you
right.
can't do it on attack rolls, unfortunately.
Got it.
And
Well, then
even
I
so,
get-
he succeeded at a higher rate. So he's gonna stab you, and it's probably gonna really hurt. Yeah. So that's gonna be 7. I should mention that you guys are both healed back up to full because of
good.
being in a hospital,
Not anymore.
but not anymore. What's your hit points at, actually, Rob?
So my max was 16, and I've taken 7 from a pitchfork, so that math makes 9.
Yeah. So you're like almost bloodied. Like this is a bad hit. So
Can I at least steal the pitchfork while it's in me?
let's see what happens first. So he stands up and like goes up at you, and actually one of the actual metal prods goes right into your underjaw and sort of cuts into you. You can feel one of your teeth crack as it sort of cuts up beneath you. It's not a mortal wound because it's away from all your major arteries, but it absolutely cuts a big gash deep between the bottom of your jaw up as the other 3 spikes sort of come next to your head, just leaving this scrape. And the remaining people hear this bellowing screech from Yan as the blade sinks into him. I mean, you can really try to grab it from...
It's a very different picture than I had.
Yeah.
I'm just...
It's a visceral attack, and I'm going to
Yeah.
say immediately he pulls it back down. So it's your turn now. Do you want to attack or flee?
Are we in initiative right now, or
Yeah, can we do something?
The 2 of them are in initiative. I mean, you're not. You can climb through or run. You can do something. What's that?
we're trying to act?
Oh, for sure, yeah. You unlocked that door, so yeah, let's do that. Let's go by initiative. So Cedric had top attack. Let's just go in order of dexterity now. What's your dexterity, Cedric?
65.
And what's yours, Petra?
My dexterity is 60.
Perfect. And Yan?
35.
Okay. So Cedric, yeah, you can go first.
All right, so I quickly, miraculously get the key in the slot with the first try. None of that, flipping around. Trying
Yeah, I'm
to
going to say as he stabs your friend, you ended up getting it in. Like, that was sort of that moment. So the minute the lock opens, it's your turn.
So I knock the padlock, it flies to the floor, and I quickly unchain the door, and I start running my way over to the other room, and I push the door open, and the bed starts sliding out of the way, and I just shout, "Hey!" with this chain in my hands.
Well,
as the bed kind of slides.
The door is actually like open still. So the door was all the way open. There is a bed in the way, and essentially what it looks like is an open door, this sort of bed haphazardly pushed against it, and then the back of Clarence with this pitchfork in your friend's head. Just to give you the visual that, you would have a clear shot at the back of his head if you were to throw something at him or tackle him or whatever you wanted to do. But you can absolutely get his attention too. I just want to make sure you know.
I'm going to try to get his attention.
Okay.
Can I use a
Charm?
I'm going. Yeah, I'm wondering.
Hey, buddy!
Hello, friend. Don't you want to see what my insides look like? Huh? It's already pretty much half opened up for you, I say as I show him my bandages.
That sounds more like intimidation.
Is it intimidation?
A little bit. Hey, you want to see my insides? That's sort of intimidating, right?
I'm not trying to scare him.
You could be like, do you want to see my insides? That would be more persuade or fast.
Try to seduce him.
Charm would be like, okay, in my thoughts, charm would be like if you were trying to say you wanted to kill Yan as well. Like, hey, you and I can do this together. That would be like charm, in my opinion.
Well,
lying,
I was thinking
guess.
charm because like it's more of a befriending, and I know that he likes looking at the insides of people. So I'm like, hey, here's an opportunity for you to see the insides of me. You've never seen the insides of me before, which is clearly what you want to do.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of deception in there, but you know what? Let's do it, because why not? You don't get to use charm that much. Let's do it.
I've gotten to use charm.
Oh, then never mind. Then forget it. Forget my niceness. No, just do it. That's fine.
Nope, I did it.
I know.
39, that is a hard success.
Okay, he's gonna turn to you and sort of smile, and he's gonna say, "Don't you worry, laddie, I'm coming to you right after this." But I guess momentarily his gaze is averted. So Petra, it would be your move.
Man, I want to save Jan, but now the room that we're in is no longer safe. So Petra is armed with some leather straps and a bedpan. She's going to get up to the window of the room because she doesn't want to crowd Cedric.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going, because he's turned around now.
Correct.
Or Raymond, or Clarence rather. She's gonna hurl the bedpan right at his head.
So you're gonna go through the window?
I'm just like hanging in the window, and she's just gonna like chuck it.
Okay. Yeah. Let's do it. Give me a. I guess it's like throw, which would be, I don't know what, firearms. I guess. You're gonna fire the bedpan at her face.
I can do firearms. I would do dex.
It's probably dexterity. Yeah. I'm just being funny.
Okey-doke.
I'm just being a silly goose.
You are a silly goose, and I am going to.
Just a silly.
I'm going to use Bjorn's XP.
This is the theme of tonight is using Bjorn's XP.
Well, you know what? I really don't want Jan to get skewered like a pig.
Oh, me neither. 39.
39. That is a hard success.
Nice. I'm gonna say because
that's just a regular success. My bad.
Regardless, I think because his attention is literally diverted, there's no real way he could even dodge that. So he's just gonna take that, and rather than it will do damage, I should say.
Bang.
I'm gonna say in addition to doing damage, which I'm just gonna call 1d4 plus 1, so that's 3 damage to him. He is going to let go of the pitchfork and stumble back.
Yeah.
So Yan, it's your turn, and you're standing with
I'm standing there,
yeah,
blood pooling down my face, staining the whole gown. Not even. I don't know that I can feel anything in my mouth right now. I'm sure everything has got to be swollen and awful. I see this pitchfork hit the ground in front of him. I might make a mad scramble to try and get the pitchfork.
Okay.
And then hit him with the business end.
Let's do it. I'm gonna even say that just to make it extra cool. I'm not gonna say he dropped the pitchfork. I'm gonna say he let go of the pitchfork. I'm gonna say it's still in your like face a little bit, like it's sliding out.
Oh Jesus!
Like as he
Yeah.
drops it, it's like, but you're like you like quickly grab it. So you don't even have to make a go to grab it. You just need to pull it out and attack him.
Well, I'm gonna pull it out and taste metal in all kinds of ways. And then I think Bjorn gave me another XP, so we're gonna fuck this guy up.
Just remember a note. When you get stabbed like that, don't pull it out.
Just leave it in.
Just leave it in forever. You are now a metal face.
Yeah.
Bandage yourself and then go. I guess we're already at the hospital.
Just join Mad Max. Be a cool badass.
Just stick your tongue in it. Stick your tongue in the hole.
Oh, 27. That's got to be good. What am I rolling?
Yeah, he is gonna do a counter because he's gonna try to fight back with a 23. How did you succeed?
What am I rolling for this? Did we think?
Yeah,
Fighting,
it's attack, so it's gonna be brawl.
brawl, just a regular success.
Okay, well, he had a regular success too, and because he was trying to fight back, that means it goes to you. So you stab him. You do 1d6 plus your damage bonus.
Sure.
So let's roll that first. See what's up.
And now this might be the first time I've done damage. What's my damage bonus?
Your damage bonus is in your bottom right corner.
Oh, it is plus 1d4.
Ooh,
So
that's a good roll.
6 plus 3 is 9.
Hey. Plus 9, 10, 11, 12. Hey. Look at you guys. That's a really lucky roll. Holy shit.
Just
So between the two of you, you've done 12 damage to him, and guess what? Yeah, you kill him, and I want you to describe it in a really gory way, Yan.
I mean, it's just a lot of screaming and shouting, and every like breath Jan's taking is just this mist of blood coming out of his face because he's pulled this big object out of it, so he's bleeding out of these holes he should not have. He's tasting the blood go down his throat as he's screaming and yelling, and hits he's just running almost blind into the back of Cedric, not Cedric. What's the name of this guy? Clarence. Like piercing like the kidneys kind of thing, and just pushes and pushes till he's up against the wall, and just like yelling and choking up on it and screaming in his face and trying to like calm down and not pass out from all the blood he's losing down himself.
Yeah, and you actually like drive him to the wall, and you keep pushing it, and it like drives into his face. He fights it at first, like it hits him, and he grabs the two prongs as you like keep driving it, and as he's like trying to stop the prongs, his scream is just getting higher as they sink into him, and his like eye starts like popping, and then his body goes limp, but his head still pierced to the wall, just stays there with the pitchfork in it as he dies.
I think Jan collapses with this guy, and they both sort of just slink to the ground, sort of like connected by this pitchfork, and fall over.
Definitely. And you're like, you're bleeding all over the place.
Yeah, it's not a good situation up here.
No. And Cedric and Petra, what are you guys doing?
Yeah. When I went out into the hallway, did I see any... what did I see in the hallway?
Yeah, so there's some offices, you see the stairs, you see a bathroom. It's just sort of like an empty hallway. Are you going to start running around, maybe?
Well, I'm going to look around quickly just to see if there's any med kits in here.
Sure, yeah. So you head out. Basically, there's a tight corridor outside the ward with the toilet, as you've seen, and it turns into a small hallway. You quickly look out there, and you notice that soft gray light from the outside is bathing this hallway as well. Again, you see the fog touching a window at the end of this hall, and 4 offices occupy the bulk of the space here, as well as a bathroom and the stairs. The walls are painted the same, sort of in a dim green that sort of sits off in your stomach, and the tiles almost feel a bit sticky. You can try the offices, or the doors, I should say, but other than that, it doesn't look like there's anything sitting around. Okay. You know what? Give me a luck roll.
Sure.
Luck be a lady tonight.
Oh, I hope it's a lady. Luck. It's a success.
Nice. Then yeah, there is a small sort of first aid station on the wall.
Okay, and I'm going to grab it. I'm going to quickly open it, see that there's stuff inside, and say, yes. And then run back into the room and say, I've got a kit. I don't know how to use it, but maybe Abdul?
Meanwhile, Petra has like scrambled back through the window because, when shit's going down, sometimes people aren't thinking straight, not realizing like, oh, the door. And she's like crawled over to Jan, and she's pulled one of the bed sheets off the bed, and she's been trying to staunch the flow of bleeding. Oh, Cedric, yes, bring that over here.
And Abdul runs around as well, and he's like, I heard the scream. Thank God this man is dead finally. And he runs over to Yan's side and looks towards Cedric, says, yeah, quickly. And he takes it from you. And yeah, I mean, he stabilizes you pretty well. Let me see if he does any healing. Oops, I guess I need to add dice to actually roll, Oh, yeah, he does. You're going to get, let's say, 1d6 back. And I'm going to roll it. I'm going to roll it just to see. Yeah, you only get 2 points back.
Roll it.
Better than none.
Better than a pitchfork to the head.
Well, that's what they say. Like Clarence once said, ain't that a pitchfork to the head?
What could follow that?
Crickets would be the answer. So yeah, Yan, you feel a bit stabilized as you stand up next to the pierced body of Clarence. Catherine sort of walks out from the main ward and like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck is he doing here? I thought they would have died all on the ship. Why the hell would they bring him to the hospital? She says, almost like panicky. Catherine is a short woman with blonde hair, thin features. She's probably 25 to 28. She sort of has a finesse to her, that she sort of walks almost with a dancer-like quality. She has piercing blue eyes and talks in a way that's almost a bit journalistic. Other than that, the only other person in the room that hasn't stirred is Raymond, because you bound him to the bed. And after a few moments you hear, "Oh, hello, is anybody there?"
And I look to the others and push myself up and walk back to the other room to meet with Raymond.
And you see Raymond sort of leaning up and he's like, "Oh, Mr. Cedric, I can't believe you're alive as well."
Yeah, you too. How you feeling?
Oh, I'm in a mess of pain. Last thing I remember, I remember the ship crashing somewhere. I thought maybe we was in the middle of the ocean, but it looks like we're back on land.
Well, it looks like we're in the same boat, for lack of a better phrase. Looks like you were tied up too. Here, let me get that for you.
Thank you. I don't think he's gonna suspect you. He's pretty naive. He's got a pretty low intelligence roll.
Sweet Raymond.
Yeah.
Sweet Raymond.
And Catherine, Abdul, Yan, you're feeling better. You all sort of walk back into the men's ward, and the 5 of you are standing around, right? That's 5. Wait, there's 3 of you. No, 6 of you. Sorry. 6 of you are standing around. So what the hell are we doing here?
It's a great question. What's the last thing everyone remembers?
Last thing I remember, I was, everything went crazy on the ship. I hid in a closet and I must have fallen asleep. All the screaming outside. I remember just wrapping my head in some sheets so I didn't have to hear it anymore. And I woke up and peeked out once or twice. And his eyes sort of glazed over. I saw some terrible things, but I remember the ship crashing, and that was about it. Catherine sort of nods and says, "Yeah, no, things went really fucking squirrely. I woke up at, I don't know, sometime in the AM with some psychopath knocking on my door. I looked through the peephole, and he had a huge grin plastered on his face. I knew well enough not to let him in, but he tried to force himself in. I ended up killing the guy. I've never done that before, but I think he deserved it. After I looked around the ship a little bit, I held back in my room, barely slept, and then the ship crashed, and I woke up here." And Abdul sort of looks towards the 3 of you. "You know what's happened to me. What about you 3? Last time I spoke to you, you went into the cargo hold."
Yes, well, we had some interesting experiences there. We'll catch you up in a little bit. I don't remember having my wounds dressed by anyone, and if the likes of Clarence are wandering around, I'm not sure that we'll find any help with any medical staff.
Well, you raise a good point, Petra. Someone did treat our wounds. Someone did help us. And someone also locked us in here and left Abdul the key. They must have known about the Grinners, and they must have tried to help us for some reason.
Can I, now that we're no longer in any mortal danger, look around for any evidence of like hospital paperwork. We would have some kind of identification, some charts around anything that would indicate like an address, any name of a hospital. Like there's would be signage, paperwork, anything.
Definitely. In regards to you, there are on the bottoms of each of your beds sort of Jane Doe, John Doe, John Doe, John Doe. Paperworks indicating each of you and your relative traumas, whatever they may be, and the name of the hospital, which is Mordant Memorial Hospital. Mordent Memorial Hospital. I'll post it for you. But other than that, in this room at least, there doesn't seem to be anything else that really indicates where you are. There's everything else that would be in that area, sort of a wash station and all that kind of stuff.
Okay. Does anyone know of this place? Anyone familiar with this town or the area?
No. Oh, I should say, well, I guess, I mean, wouldn't really necessarily say the town that it's in, but, yeah, no.
No, but if, like, any of us are familiar, you said we're in Leary, which obviously our characters don't know, but...
Yeah. No one recognizes it. Unfortunately, no, I'm sorry. Raymond sort of shakes his head side to side. I've never even been anywhere besides good old Texas.
Okay, well, the first thing we know is this is in English. So we are in an English-speaking country. We didn't wash up on the shore of France or something.
That's a good point, Miss. Sorry, what was your name?
Petra Artemis Saltzman.
My name is Raymond Blank, and Catherine speaks up and says, my name is Catherine Sullivan. Abdul Saka.
This is Cedric and Jan.
Cedric. Nice to meet you. Cedric Benson.
Raymond sort of gives a smile to you. He's kind of happy that you're here. he likes you.
He's cute.
Yeah.
It's okay.
And as he like smiles at you, you see his like eyes sort of float to Yan and then nervously like shoot back to the floor.
I'll let it go.
I think those are good points, Petra. She's right. We are in an English-speaking country. I mean, it doesn't feel like England per se, and I mean, logically, it'd probably be back in the United States. And he sort of walks over to the window and looks outside. It's drastically foggy out there. You can't even make past your nose.
Yes, it's very strange.
Well, I suppose we should look around the hospital a little bit, yes?
Yeah, there are 4 offices down the hall I saw, but I didn't want to go in by myself. Might be more information there.
Well, we have one weapon. This pitchfork.
Yes.
I've got these chains. If we find a croquet ball, might be able to fashion something.
Personally, I'm feeling a bit worse for wear, to be honest. I'm feeling a bit nauseous. I wouldn't mind just staying here and recouping a little bit myself. If you need me, please, you can call and I will be there. And Raymond sort of says, yes, actually, I wouldn't mind just sitting down for a little bit. And Catherine sort of says, honestly, I'm not staying here. I'm coming with you guys. She sort of walks up next to the 3 of you.
Okay, well, I go outside and I grab the padlock off the floor and I say, we've got this. We can lock you in, but if anything happens to us, then we would have the key. But you guys could climb through the window and get out that way.
No. I don't think that's a great idea. I just mean 10, 15 minutes while you look around this floor. I just want to take a moment. Abdul sort of looks a bit perturbed.
Yeah, well, keep your ears out, and we'll see you soon.
We all hold hands and skip down the hallway.
Cute. Yeah, so as I mentioned, outside this, there are 4 offices that occupy the bulk of space here. The walls are painted dark green, sort of over that plaster. The age of this building it seems fairly old, especially compared to what you're used to, Petra, coming from such rich blood. You're used to old but well maintained. And you look out towards the hallway. You see a closet next to you and then a small bathroom next to that. And the stairs that lead down. And I'm going to share a vision of this floor in the handouts. Right now.
Yes, please.
Pushlam.
All right. Closet. I look in the closet.
Give me a spot hidden.
Okay. Do.
Doug has become such a theme.
I did a extreme success.
Well, fuck me. You get access to the whole map. Folded up in the corner here is an old map to this entire building, which eliminates a lot of what I was hoping to keep secret, but whatever.
Deal with it.
Dink. It is posted. The Mordant Memorial Hospital. You are on the second floor, obviously.
Okie dokie.
Okie dokie, Literature Club. So, Yan, how are you feeling?
Oh, terrible.
Yeah?
Is there at least a clean robe in that closet? This one's a little bloody.
No, there's not.
Yeah, okay. So I look like a horror show. That's fine. I feel like a horror show.
Might work to your advantage.
Maybe. Because these things don't like blood or nothing.
Maybe you can pretend.
So I mean, he's sort of. I mean, he's a little bit stunned. He's sort of walking down the hallway, kind of hovering at the top of the stairs, watching Petra and Cedric sort of explore this floor. Not kind of like looking down, but not really. You know, with any real intent. Maybe listening to see if he hears any movement down the stairs. But
give me a listen roll.
I'd love to give you a listen roll.
Give it to me.
I got ears for days. That is exactly my number.
Just a regular success?
Regular success.
Yeah, you don't hear anything.
That's fine. And I think he's sort of standing woozy, sort of getting a new shock every time he looks down because it hurts his face to move, and also he's covered in blood and he's a little bit woozy.
Yeah, and Catherine sort of walks up to you and sort of looks down the stairs and looks back up to you, and she's like, "Fuck your face." Sorry, I mean, I don't know what you looked like before. I didn't really get a chance to look at you, but you're still handsome.
We're still breathing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, thanks.
Well. And she turns around and joins the other two.
I'm looking in chamber 1.
Perfect. Okay. So yeah, you go to open the door to chamber 1 and it is unlocked. Appears to be an examination room, big enough for 2 people to be examined side by side. The room sits in that faded green paint. The once white tiled floor, again, that off yellow. Small curtain dividing the room. You can see 2 tables for patients to lay down upon.
Okay. Any shelving units or...
Yeah, there's a few boxes and some shelving units and sort of some junk sort of in the corners.
Okay, well, I'm going to do a general look around, looking for anything.
A spoon?
Perhaps if I can spot it. Yeah, if there's a spoon there, that'd be great.
No, a spoodin. That's what I say spot hidden because I'm an asshole.
A spoon. I see.
Bless you.
Well, I'm going to roll it. He didn't sneeze. That is a hard success.
Yeah, you find not just yours, but also Yan's belongings. All of what you were taken from.
Hey, Yan. I think I got your stuff here.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'm going to get out of that blood tarp.
Yeah, Jan's going to start wandering towards Cedric's voice. Very excited to see his things and get out of the blood tarp.
Yeah, and the blood tarp is no longer, it's just a memory.
What?
Is his gun there?
No, just your clothes. In fact, you also see 2 sets of clothes as well.
So the watch and the ring are missing from the
No, the watch and the ring are there, just no heavy weapons.
Fair.
Okay, so this guy had a watch and ring and 9mm.
Let's just keep that in this room.
Yeah.
Just in this spot.
But you also see 2 other sets of clothes. One that you recognize Abdul was wearing earlier, and the other set you could guesstimate that it's Raymond's.
So someone took our unconscious bodies to the hospital, got us all naked, dressed our wounds, put us in hospital gowns, put us in like an ICU basically, and then just pieced out.
You also don't know how long you've been here.
Is all our hair gray?
Yes, it's been 200 years. This is the future.
What you got here?
Have I grown this much hair and facial hair?
Yes.
Since episode 1?
Yeah.
We all have, like really long toenails.
Perfect. Good. We've caught up. I've caught up with my hair.
Is there any paperwork or records in this room?
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna carry Abdul and Raymond's items back for him.
Perfect, and they appreciate and get dressed. Raymond a little more shy. He's like, "Can you guys turn around while I get dressed?" And Abdul's like,
"Yeah, well, I wasn't gonna stay."
And Abdul was just like, he's like, "Yes, I'll turn around." And the 2 of them are like, he's like, "Thank you. Can you help me with my back button?" And Abdul's like, "Yes, of course." And they have a cute little scene that you guys don't get to see. Yeah, and you're back to the offices.
Bjorn has a great point. Would our charts not have like admission date on it? We definitely have intake.
Yeah, well, not really, but yes, let's say it does. The circumstances you can guess based on your arrival here was sudden and reactive, and a lot of what you've sort of seen here seems haphazard. But it will say the date today, and it is the...
I mean, it would have the date that we were admitted. Maybe
Yes.
not today's date.
So let's say the 18th.
Okay.
I think the 18th. Let me just...
January 18th.
Yeah, you were admitted the 18th.
Okay. And we left on the 16th. So, okay. I would like to check the chamber number 3. Directly across the hall from the one that Cedric just checked.
Yeah, and you sort of see over, and this, as you open, is also an examination room. Same setup as one, however, it appears to be for women. You already can see the box that they pulled out, and you see your clothes as well as Catherine's.
Oh, thank God.
But Catherine's are a bit nicer and less blood-soaked. I'm just being funny. It's like, couldn't find yours, Catherine's, but here's your negligee.
Oh, these are much too big for me.
Oh, Patty.
Oh, that's great.
Petra gets dressed.
Perfect.
And I feel like as she brings the clothes out to Catherine.
Catherine's sort of like next to you. Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
Oh. Well, you can do what you want to do if it's going to be interesting.
No, I feel like at some point when we're like going through this floor, maybe when she passes through the hall the first time, past the bathroom, she catches sight of herself in the mirror and she's just like shocked at her appearance and just doesn't recognize herself at first. I think she startles, thinking that there's someone in there, but then she realizes it's her and she looks awful.
Cute. That happens.
It happens to
and
people who are
Catherine just looks like
hospitalized.
amazing as her like toned down self. It's just like, I don't need makeup.
God, I love women like that.
I'm just teasing. Okay, what else you boys doing?
So I've made my way back to the other 2.
Yep.
And which room are you in right now, Petra?
She's in chamber 3.
Chamber 3. I guess I'll check out chamber number 2.
Yeah, and what are you doing
what
through
about
all
you?
this? Yeah.
So I think feeling a little bit buoyed by having, his own clothes again, he might sort of wander down the hall and check out the other chamber 4 that Cedric's not turning in.
Perfect.
Just to peek in them and
Yeah. So as you arrive at Chamber 4, there's a placard on the door that says Chief Physician Dr. Derek Cunningham. However, you reach for the doorknob and it is locked. Meanwhile, Justin, you arrive at the door that says Dr. Luke McCullough and pathologist Dr. Drew Stevens. The door is unlocked, however. And you turn it, again like you have the other door, and open it up. Inside you see 2 desks, a shared office. One in the corner is neat and orderly, the other is a bit more haphazard, but your eyes scan the room and immediately fall to the floor where a man lays dead.
How did he die?
You
Obvious.
enter the room. Yeah, I mean, he's sort of lying on his stomach, and you see the large pool of blood leaching out from him. He is wearing a white doctor's coat, so you can't quite see, but you kind of can tell. Are you going to go up and check out, or are you going to let the others know?
We got a body in here, guys. And I'm going to step in and lean down and look at his name tag.
Perfect. So he doesn't have a name tag of sorts, but you do step in. No, but you do step in, and Petra and Yan and Catherine sort of join, and Catherine's like, oh, Jesus Christ. And she sort of just turns around and exits the hall. Petra and Yan, are you guys just walking in, or?
Is it chamber 2 or 4?
This is 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll come in behind Cedric.
Perfect. And Petra, you're entering as well?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. The door locks and you're all dead. Now you all enter the room.
It happens.
And you roll over and you see a young-ish man, 31, with a few deep stab wounds in his stomach and upper chest. I'd say about 4 or 5 from what you can tell.
From a pitchfork?
I guess give me a medicine roll. I mean, do you want to take off his shirt and sort of examine?
I mean, are they regularly spaced or irregularly spaced?
Give me a medicine roll.
Come now.
Well,
I don't. I have a 1% medicine.
then you really don't know, do you?
Yeah.
No. They don't look like they were made by a pitchfork.
Oh, I got a 5.
Hey, I'll give it to you. No, in fact, they seem sort of clustered and then broken. It looks like just a knife did this.
Mm.
I'm going to start checking the pockets.
Yeah, okay. Give me a... I guess you don't really need to... No, I guess not really.
I'm going to try not to get my hands dirty.
Hey, that's a good idea. So let's do that for Spotted.
There's a lot of blood here, guys.
Yeah, and actually, as you...
Sounds squishy.
Yeah, you know what? You check him...
Success.
Yeah, you notice that he's actually holding like a sticky note almost, and it's in the handouts.
Oh.
Yan, Petra, what are you doing as you see this man?
Jeez, they can't be everywhere. This whole town can't be Grinners, is it? Like, how? It just seems so... What are we even gonna do?
The only grinner we've run into so far we knew was a grinner. Maybe it's just limited to the people that were on the boat. But...
I don't know, Cedric. No. So, we were brought to this hospital, and then everyone who runs the hospital was murdered. These grinners are, I'm sure, loose on the town.
This note says... There's a note here that says Stevens. It's clutched in his hands.
Stevens.
That's who killed him?
What were the names of the doctors in this place?
Chief physician.
Yeah. On the doors of this room was this. Dr. Luke McCullough and pathologist Dr. Drew Stevens. And on the other door there was chief physician Dr. Derek Cunningham.
Oh. All right, I flipped a name.
So this is a doctor because he has a white coat.
With that 1% in medicine, you know that to be true.
I think this is a doctor.
So if I take this coat off of him and put
I'm a doctor.
And I'm pretty sure he's dead.
2 for 2.
So he's holding a Post-it note that says Stevens in a scrawl, and there's blood on it. Either he was writing himself a note or he was naming his killer.
Dun, dun, dun.
Is his name sewed into his underpants?
You'll have to find out, won't you?
I do.
his name.
His name is not sewed into his underpants, and you've just seen a dead guy's butt. Minus 10 sanity.
Well, I'm gonna take the note and I'm gonna walk over to the desk and just look for paper and just try to compare.
There you go. Yes, it's written by the messier of the two desks, which you can sort of take as Dr. Luke McCullough. And as you're looking through this desk, you actually see a note on top that's typed out. And I've posted that in the handouts.
Okay. There's some sort of note here that I'm trying to open, but my browser's... there it is. Guys, there's the note. And this is on Lucas.
This is on Luke McCullough's, the messier of the two desks.
It reads, Dr. Cunningham, Chief Physician, Mordaunt Memorial Hospital, Leary, Massachusetts, January 19th, 1925. Evening, Luke. Thank you again for your help today. I know you were going to help no matter what, but I fear it was something that will scar us deeply, and I appreciate you putting what needed to be done first. In any case, should I be out when you arrive tonight, I wanted you to know that I've done a full report on the evenings that transpired today, as well as my findings and other thoughts that Patterson and I had that are rather important. I've left it in my office should you want to read it. I'd very much appreciate your thoughts. You know where I keep the key. I'm not sure everyone knows, thanks to Conway's kitchen note. Hope the night goes by uneventfully. See you in the morning. We gotta get in that room.
Well, so we read the note in the kitchen, find the key, come back.
Yes, let's go.
Oh, I'm sure everyone knows, thanks to Conway's kitchen note.
Clearly he was very tired. This doctor's had a long day.
No, I spelled it right. You also said evening when it said events. I've done a full report on the events that transpired today, not the evenings.
I got stuck at the we are. And
Yeah, I know you. Yeah. We are going to help.
Oh, sorry.
I love you.
Well,
I failed. Oh, yeah.
1%.
I know you, we are.
Well, what was he going to do? Just like scrap the whole thing? And
exactly. It's a typewriter. He doesn't have word spell check. Neither do I, obviously.
And he calls himself the chief physician.
Someone did. Idiot. Are you done with this room then?
For now.
Okay.
Maybe I'll just do
There's a closet in it. We should just open that quick.
A what?
Yeah.
There's a closet in the room. We should just open it and say we did.
I spotted hidden, and I did it really good. I did a hard spot hidden.
Perfect. Where are you searching through? Are you going through desk drawers? Are you going through closets? Give me specifics.
Desk drawers. Both desks.
Okay. In Dr. McCullough's, you find a key.
Okay.
And that's it.
I hold it out as if we're in an escape room. A key, everyone. Look, a key.
Do you think that's the key to the office?
No, I don't think so.
Might as well try. It's right across the hall.
She goes, tries.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. It's a bit bigger. It's sort of a fat key.
I'm going to try the closet.
Yeah, you take a look through the closet. You see a few fresh sets of clothes. Oh, yeah. You see like a set of clothes that fits you perfectly if you want. If you want to play doctor, you can.
I'm going to need a spare set, so I'm going to hold on to them, but we'll find a bag.
Your clothes like folded. Cute. You also find a backpack.
Perfect.
Ooh. Increase inventory space.
Bloop, bloop, bloop.
I want to play Apex.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
Is it purple? Purple backpack?
Oh. So yeah, that's about all you find in there.
Nothing that looks like it would require a key.
Nope.
No.
Okay. Should we go downstairs?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So you head out of this chamber and into the hall. Like Catherine's sort of pacing nervously, and she's biting her fingers. God, I could use a cigarette. What did you guys find in there?
A note saying that there's more information about what happened today in the doctor's office. The chief physician. It's locked.
God damn it. And Abdul and Raymond walk out of the rooms. All right, so you found a note, and we need a key, and then we can get the hell out of here?
That's the idea, I guess. I mean, I think we could probably leave now, unless they locked down the entire building. I wonder.
No, I think this is important. The reason that we want to go into the main doctor's office is for the report of what happened. All of the doctor's notes about the events none of us can remember. I think that's going to be very important to us.
We need
then
to
we
know.
can leave.
If they got us off the ship, it means they were in the room with the obelisk.
Yes.
Which means maybe the note will talk about what happened to that, which is very important that we know.
I think when we find the obelisk, well, that's going to be the way that we stop all this, right? That's what made the Grinners in the first place.
It's the only thing I can think of. I don't know how we stop it, but we have to find it.
Obelisk, Grinners, what the hell y'all talking about? I don't understand.
Don't worry about it, Raymond.
I'm just a simple bellboy.
Raymond, there are people called Grinners. He should know. People who smile broadly and very disconcertingly and not like the way I smile. They want to kill you. And they were on the ship.
What did I ever do to them?
You didn't do anything. I don't know what is wrong with them exactly, but it's like something is triggered inside them that allows them to live out their deepest, darkest fantasies, which are pretty damn dark.
All right. Well, you can count me in to help as much as I can. And as he says that, you hear sort of a humming coming from downstairs. Just a empty tune, but you can hear it coming from the basement. And we're going to stop there for the mid-game post. Yeah. That's right. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is always Mr. Harlan Guthrie, and I'm here with the one, the only, the Mr. Rob Dio Bald.
Hello.
The handsome and talented Mr. Justin Thomas James.
Oh, well, thank you. Hello.
And the gorgeous Ms. Jo Fallak.
Hello.
And we are here, of course, with Call of Cthulhu, Game 2, Part 5. The investigators have woken up in a bit of a stupor, confused about the events that have transpired over the past day upon crashing on the beaches of Leary. We're going to find out what happens after the mid-game post. This is where we start the action, and we jump to you guys, the community, and we say, what up?
Hi.
Hello.
This is, of course, an 18-plus show, if you haven't picked that up already. There's been some
From the
swearing.
pitchforking.
Watch out, you might get pitchforked in the face.
Yeah! That was a nice death, though. I like that.
God.
That's right. When you are a part of this group, you get a lot of cool little benefits. First off, we like you until we don't. But most of the time, we like you. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube right now, please like the video. Also, make sure you join the Facebook group. The Facebook group is where all the cool people hang out, and you get a chance to win the most valuable post. Most valuable post is the post of the week that we distinguish amongst the rest, and we say, hey, you done a good job. Justin, who was this week's winner? It was not Terry Erickson, who tried to reverse psychology me, and I almost fell for it too. If it wasn't for those rascally kids.
No, this one goes to an early post this week. I think it was posted on Thursday by the one and the only Mr. Fazio.
And why was that?
Mike Fazio, of course. He posted about the game that he's been running with his students that has just wrapped up and come to an end, playing a game called No Thank You Evil. And it's a beautiful little post, and he talks about a character that the players had a lot of connection with, and how the character didn't make it in the end. And it was just a very touching post. And at the end, he talked about how Invictus had inspired him. So it was really nice to read, that this had, fostered these kids having such a good time. So thank you very much, Mike, for sharing that. And I hope that we continue to inspire, where you guys inspire us to keep doing what we do. So thank you very much. And congratulations.
Thanks, Mike.
Mike was the first one here. I think he knew he was going to be mid-game post, and he's like, I better get a good seat. Because Discord works in seats. I don't know if you know this.
What?
I don't know. If you are a Patreon supporter, thank you. We have wonderful, kind, beautiful people that support us every month on Patreon. So if you're one of them, first and foremost, thank you. You get a fanfare.
Whoa!
That's what you get. Secondly, if you are part of our Patreon, you are aware now that we release weekly enigmas. The weekly enigmas are released every Friday at 8 a.m. and all of our patron supporters have a chance to jump into the mix and try to solve it. If you solve it, you get 5 experience points. If you're wondering how we're doing so good in this game, how these guys are getting bonus dice left, right, and center, it's because of the kind and generous people of the community that are giving XP to the players. So that is all tied in with that. Now, this week's enigma was a particularly difficult one. It was posted by, again, the lovely and talented Rob, and it was tough. I'm trying not to give the answers out on stream so that if you're watching this post, you can always join our Patreon and get the answers, or rather try to solve them yourself, which is always fun. However, we have a continual Rin streak in the mix here. The lovely Carly.
A Rin streak?
A Rin streak. No, the lovely Carly and the lovely Bjorn, a great dynamic duo, these two, have really sort of alternated cracking these enigmas. One week the first week was Carly, then it was Bjorn, then it was Carly, then it was Bjorn and Carly, and they decided to split the profit and all that kind of stuff. So, for this Friday, we decided to change the game. Rather than, giving it to these two geniuses, we have asked Bjorn and Carly to write this week's enigma. So this Friday at 8 o'clock, all of the patrons who may have been a bit too intimidated to jump into it because Carly and Bjorn swoop in and do their amazing job, have a chance to win that 5 XP themselves and try to crack the minds of Carly and Bjorn. Furthermore, the weekly enigmas were something that we offered to you guys apart from Patreon. It's the balance between wanting to honor the people who support us financially as well as you guys, the community. This week, the Patreon, and this week only for now, the weekly enigma is going to be not exclusive to the patrons, but an advantage, which means it is going to be released Friday at 8 o'clock to the patrons, and then it is going to be released later on this weekend to the entire community via the Facebook. So, if you are interested in what these enigmas look like, if you are wanting to take a crack at Bjorn and Carly's, then do not worry. You are going to get a chance at that without having to support us, because we understand sometimes it's tough, and we just want to make sure the people who do support us have that, little bit of extra thank you. So, for the winner of the post on the Patreon, it's going to be 5 XP as normal. Whether that person gets it in time before we post it on the Facebook or not, the first person to solve it from the Facebook group is also going to get XP. It's only going to be 3, but you are also going to have a crack. So regardless of whether Patron solves it first, regardless of whether it takes you a little bit of time to solve it, you're still going to have a crack at doing this. So again, a huge thank you to Bjorn and Carly for making this awesome little riddle.
Amazing.
So amazing. And I saw it. It's tough. I mean, I solved it like that. No, I'm terrible at these. I haven't solved any of these.
So did we solve it?
Yes.
Oh.
But it comes in different ways for each of you. For Justin, I'll give him first dibs at an Apex gun. For Rob, it'll be hugs in public. And Joe, well, you know.
Sexy.
But no.
I wanted to make a little announcement.
Yes.
There's some very exciting Invictus news.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, we've been talking a little bit about our plans for 2019, places we want to go, things we want to do, and we're very excited to announce Invictus will be at Gen Con 2019. Yay! We're gonna be there. So if you guys are interested, if you already have tickets, let us know. If you want to play games with us, we're gonna be running some games. We're gonna be there from Friday the 2nd of August until Sunday, August 4th. And I believe we're also gonna be doing a meetup, pub night type fan event
on the Saturday.
So that'll be Harlan. He's gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. Justin's gonna be there, and Rob is gonna be there.
It's true.
Woohoo!
He's much higher caliber than us, so he'll be repping many other things, but maybe he'll just pop out to the night on Saturday as well if he's not too busy.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find some time to pencil you in.
He's a busy man. Busy
but
and
that's
important.
right. Yeah, we're going to be at Gen Con. Really, really exciting stuff. It is in Indianapolis?
It is in Indianapolis. That's a good thing to know.
Wait.
Yeah.
Listen, I just lie back and everything just tells me where to be. That's all. Not in like an ego sense, just in a lazy sense. I'm like, I don't know where I am, and they're like, okay, wheel them over here.
Everybody's kidding on me and tells me where to go and what to do.
Yeah, I'm basically a giant fat kid, but I'm okay with that because I'm a kid that owns a kid. I own a kid. That sounds weird.
I got a kid.
But that's right. Yeah, Gen Con is really fucking exciting. And we are going to be running, as Joe said, D&D and Call of Cthulhu. So if you have ever wanted to sit down in a game like this with this ugly motherfucker, then you get to at Gen Con. We're also going to do some polls, find out who's coming, when we can meet up, and offer a few special little treats for those who can make it. So hopefully we'll see you there.
Maybe we'll announce it later, but t-shirts.
I was thinking we'll wait on that.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, forget you heard anything.
Smoke bomb.
It's the wrong sound effect. There we go. So yeah, I want to see a lot of Gen people. What?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Are lots of people going to be able to make it to Gen Con? We'd like to know.
From the informal poll we did, which is very official, it was at least, 8 people.
A handful.
Yeah.
Rob, you've been to Gen Con before.
I have,
Can
yeah.
you speak to that at all? Fun times? Good times?
It's good. It's a giant warehouse floor full of everything interesting, and then a whole bunch of conference rooms scattered around a giant campus and a bunch of hotels full of people gaming and doing things. Pretty much every corner of the city every corner of the city has someone playing a game somewhere because they, sat down and found other people to play with them. So it's pretty cool. It's got a really interesting vibe.
Let me ask you a question, Rob. Are you running anything at Gen Con?
So I not officially that I know of yet. I am working in the Magpie room, so I'll be helping people play games there. And if anything goes wrong, if there's like oh shit, we need somebody to run this random game, I may step in and do that. But
nice.
The current plan is mostly just making sure helping out there, making sure everything goes smooth in the Magpie games.
So theoretically, though, if maybe some Invictusites and myself and maybe Joe and Justin wanted to sit in on a game with you, it might not be impossible.
I mean, it's not impossible that we could set something up. Yeah.
Ooh.
We could be that table. We could be that emergency table that we don't have a GM for these people.
We'll just lie.
We've got an emergency and the only cure is more gaming.
Yeah. You come to the table and you're like, you guys, you're not an emergency.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. Perfect.
Cute.
Well, I'm really excited. I think that's going to be a lot of fun, and yeah. That's it.
To change the topic, segue, Can you make a segue just by saying segue?
Yes.
I think so.
Segue!
Segue. I'd like to share. I don't know if we've shared this one on the stream. A little bit of product placement from Chronicle Brewery.
Look at that.
This is called the Beautiful Cultist.
Ooh.
And it is. I'm pretty sure that's Joe. And it is a West Coast style IPA, perfect Call of Cthulhu drinking material. And
How's it taste?
I haven't opened it yet. I've never tried this. Have you guys tried the?
Oh, that's brand new.
No, I actually forgot that they just started doing it. We should buy some this weekend because we're going to
swing by.
Chris's. Yeah.
So if you are in the Toronto /
Bowmanville.
Ontario area, you should hit up Bowmanville and say hello to Johnny and the gang. And
Rob, do you
try some of
drink
their-
beer at all, Rob?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, we got to get some fucking free cans to Rob so he can drink some on stream. This boy deserves it.
Beer.
This is nice. If you like IPA, this is nice.
I don't know if you mentioned this, but the label's by Rob too. Did you mention that?
Oh, yeah, I was wondering. I wasn't sure if it was.
Yeah.
But this is by
Rob Donaldson.
Rob Donaldson.
Of the stream. I wanted to make sure I wasn't being redundant, but I didn't think I heard you mention it. Yeah, no, that's the one important thing. No, that is Rob Donaldson's original artwork. The fantastic boys and gal at Chronicle Brewing put that together. So, well done. And I don't know if I should say that, but he's working on another label for them too. I don't know what's the legalese there. I don't think that's bad, right? That's fine, right?
He's not going to sue us.
I think it's fine. We'll just edit it out.
Just edit it out.
This is live.
Way to get robbed.
Oh, shit.
Someone with that bleep button. No, that's really exciting. Yeah, we should go out there this weekend and get Rob some beer too, so he can be drinking it on stream or just in his spare time. Actually, we gave him a promotional can last year.
It's true. I did. It's gone though.
You loved it.
It was very
Not
good.
just-
I did quite enjoy it.
Wait, you don't have the beer we gave you last year?
No, it turns out I've drank it.
You're supposed to sip one sip every month.
Oh, last one is so sad then.
Yep.
I love these little comfortable silences.
Yeah, no, this is the most comfortable silence.
It's a nice telling sign that we're comfortable with people.
Yeah.
I just
Taste over there, just to.
What? I want to see if I can stay still enough so people think I'm frozen.
That's
Well, not when you lead into it with that sentence. Oh
I
my
was
god,
like-
is he frozen? David?
Oh, David. Oh, David's dead.
let it go.
Oh, David.
All right. Speaking of letting it go, Frozen 2 trailer just came out. All right,
Oh,
let's
does it
do
look
this. I don't know.
Okay.
That just segue. Segue.
Segue.
So good at those.
I know. Although, did you see the trailer for that Yesterday movie? It looks fan-frickin-tastic.
Yesterday.
You gotta check it out. Honestly, such a great concept for a movie. I saw the trailer, smiled the entire time, and I'm like, I gotta see that with Joe. I was like, I want to see it. It's just about a guy who's like a failing songwriter, and he's just touring like little tiny venues, kids' birthday parties, can't do anything. And biking home one night, power goes out, wakes up the next day, and no one on earth knows who the Beatles are. But he knows all the songs. So he's like, oh, I wrote this. And he like plays Yesterday, and they're like, oh my god, that's amazing. And he skyrockets to like the best person, the singer in the world. People are like, how have you written so many hits? He's just like, but it's such a weird, specific idea. Like, why the Beatles and why? I'm so excited for how the movie's gonna go, because like to me that's such a fun concept, and I'm just really excited by it. Honest, I think it's a really cute idea. It's like a total rom-com, and I love it.
That sounds great.
It's
I would really enjoy that.
Isn't that a cute idea?
Who plays the main guy?
Hamish Patel, like a newcomer too. I really like that he's not like a white dude either. Like it's really cool. He's got a fantastic singing voice, and like all the versions are sort of like covers, but in a way that sort of makes sense in the movie too. It's not like Across the Universe where it's just Beatles song done in a different way. He changes them. Like there's a scene where like because it's nowadays where like Ed Sheeran is like, hey, you know what would be nice instead of hey Jude? He's like, you should say hey dude. And he's like, I think Jude would be better. He's like, no, hey dude is so much better. And Kate McKinnon is as well too. I know Joe likes
awesome.
her. I know, that's why I was like, we gotta see this because I know you love her.
All right, you talked me into it.
It looks really cute. Anyway.
One last thing.
Yes.
Join us on Discord if you want to hang out with us and chat along with all the crew. People are posting GIFs of SpongeBob, people standing up and applauding. There's some Elsa now from Frozen showing up. That's one thing that will always catch my eye when I'm playing RPGs with the Invictus stream every Wednesday night is people posting fucking GIFs. If I just start breaking into laughter halfway through very serious scenes because someone posted a reaction GIF that just tickled me. So,
we love being tickled.
You're there. See you on Discord.
See you on the Discord. And please make sure you like the video if you're watching it. All right, let's go back to the game. Without further ado, Call of Cthulhu continues. Raymond turns to you sheepishly after hearing the humming from the stairs below and just says, I think I'm best going back in this room. He turns around and goes back into the men's war that he was waiting in. Catherine sort of looks to you with a fire. What the fuck was that?
That was one of them, I think.
I think it's probably safe to say if we hear singing, it's dangerous.
All right. Well,
what's the plan?
Don't look at me. And she turns to Yan, who's like, the last bit of blood is just kicking over on his wound.
Well, the note's in the kitchen. The kitchen, according to that map, is pretty close to the bottom of the stairs. Go down there, find a note, come back. Hopefully we're into this room. We know what's going on in moments. It's literally 12 steps into a kitchen. It's not a very big kitchen. How hard could it be to find a note?
How hard could it be? The thought echoed through Yan's brain before he died.
Like a pitchfork.
Like a pitchfork through his brain. Perfect. Yeah. And Catherine sort of nods and says, yeah, I think it can be easy.
Just let's think about this carefully. There's 2 doors into the kitchen from the staircase. We can go in through the, there's like a little hallway just at the bottom of the staircase. And also you can get in through the pantry. What if there's something dangerous in the kitchen, we can lure it out and enter through the opposite door? Maybe?
Well,
we have to.
It looks like there's a back door as well.
Yes, well that presumes that we can get out of here. Should we be trying the front door? The dining room?
When we come down the stairs, we might as well just try the side entrance because it's right there, just to see if we can get out of this building.
Side entrance. I love that. We go around the back. Great call. That should definitely be the first bet.
Sorry, I'm just trying to find where... Oh, there they are, the stairs. So the stairs go down into a closet?
The stairs go down. Yeah, they face a closet, but as you see, there's a side entrance.
Yeah.
We can
Where do we
exit
hear Where do we hear the humming coming from? Just
downstairs.
To the left at the bottom?
Sounds like it's just coming from the stairwell.
Oh.
I hate that.
Well,
I don't like
when
that.
we see it.
Okay, all right. What if we lured it up here? We've got the advantage. We've got height over it. The only worry is that if it's got a gun, then that's bad. But
Yes, I should say so.
Then we're in a really good position to throw things at it, try to trip it, make it fall down the stairs. We have the high ground.
I once watched a play called Home Alone, where there was a mischievous little boy who engineered all kinds of tricky traps and
Yes,
things.
that's the Roman one. The Greek play, Homus Alonus.
Homus Alonus, that's right, yes.
By Joish Peshosh.
A paint bucket on the stairs was especially...
Well, Abdul's a pretty handy fella. Why don't we get him and the others to set up a couple of those traps, maybe barricade the top of the stairs, do something so that we could dash up here as a refuge if we need to. But the longer we spend up here, just the less time we have, the less, like, we don't have any food and water. We can't, like, stay here. We got to get moving.
Well, it won't take us any longer. We're going to have to kill whatever it is.
I like that. I like both ideas. What if we combine them? Like Jan said, we can barricade the top of the stairs so that even if there's a monster down there and he can reach the top, he can't get through to us immediately. So we'll make some kind of barricade with the beds, maybe. And then we'll lure him up here and attack him at a distance. We'll throw things. We'll drop furniture on him. We'll stab him with that pitchfork.
Yeah, that could work.
I got a pretty good ear for music. And these grinners all got really, really wide mouths that give them a certain timbre.
The resonance.
Is there any chance I could just, like, listen to the way this voice is singing and get any kind of clue? Like, are we for certain this is a grinner?
Sure. Let's try. Oh god, that's terrifying.
Oh, that is amazing. It's a hard success if you wanted to listen. If you wanted music, it's a regular success.
Yeah, it's
a hard success if you wanted music too.
It sounds like the tune. Some call it madness.
The tune.
I can't forget the night I found you. But it's humming, obviously.
All right. Well, let's get ready and yell at them to let them know we're here and brace ourselves, because what else are we going to do?
So are you going to, like, just dip back into that area and shut the door and lock it? Or are you actually going to try to barricade it?
We're barricading the stairwell. We're just going to stick something up the stairwell, or even, I know. Let's the bed's on wheels, right?
There are 2 exam tables or beds in each of the chamber 1 and chamber 3.
Let's not barricade. Let's keep the bed lined up so it can go down the stairs and then push it down.
I was just thinking, let's drop a bed on it.
Yeah.
Let's push a bed down and then we'll drop one over. So we'll start throwing. We'll slide and then we'll fall.
You guys are relying a lot on these beds.
We don't have guns.
You don't have any weapons.
You don't need weapons. You need wits.
That's what we're using. Wits and beds.
Beds. These beds are made by wits.
I run over and I grab a bed and I start wheeling it over.
You know, the majority of people die in beds. They're that dangerous.
No, the majority of people die by beds.
I want to dual wield a bed.
Yeah, one bed on each
One
hand.
bed.
Yeah, but the beds eat you, so you're dead now. Look, the left side of these stairs, it's sort of a balcony. So I'm going to say that you can, like, look down it as well. That'll help you.
And we see.
No, you can't see anything down, but, like, you know, if someone's walking up, you can just go, like, on the top of their head and maybe, like, kill them instantly.
It's pretty... No, because it goes like this, right? And you're talking about the balconies over here.
Totally.
That's, like, going to be...
That's
like,
a while. That's a couple meters.
down,
Definitely.
Bed idea. I think it's a
good idea.
The
bad idea.
I think the trident should be reserved for when he gets within trident.
The
range.
trident? There are 4 poles. It's a quadradent. It's a quadrant.
D&D pitchfork. It's a trident.
It's a pitch dent.
Okay, guys. It sounds ridiculous, but I really think that this bed idea is going to work. Seriously, I think that if we lure her up, it's much better than us going down there and not knowing where it is. At least we're in a position where we can drop the bed on it with gravity, and we'll know exactly where it is, and we won't have to worry.
Okay.
I agree.
I don't disagree with this at all. Obviously, it's not my call. I just want to communicate that these are sort of like light hospital beds. They're like sort of tin. They're mattresses on like a spring. Now, that's not to say they won't hurt and you can't put a bunch on them, but I just want to make sure that you don't think it's like a heavy wooden bed that would like trap him.
You have to be able to like support a human body.
Correct. Yeah, but it's like, like a frame.
It's not aluminum foil. It's a frame.
It's like a pipe.
It wouldn't hurt just the gravity alone, but it would create distance.
It probably hurts more than a bedpan.
Well, is there, speaking of, so we got an office full of office furniture. What about a desk?
Yes,
oh, yeah.
Definitely desks. And you know what? The exam tables would be much heavier, and I mean, they'd be tough to move because I picture them sort of like a kitchen island almost.
They're probably bolted to the floor.
Yeah, exactly.
Desks, though, big fucking mahogany doctor desks with all the ego that comes along with needing
how many steps are these stairs?
Filing cabinet.
Whatever it looks like on the picture.
12 steps.
So from the top of the stairs, I can see there's a door out the building, and then I have to go turn around and go another 12 steps the other way.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
I'm just going to walk down half the stairs and try that door.
Okay. Yeah, it's open. I mean, it's unlocked, I should say.
I'm going to open it.
And you open it to the gray outside world.
And I'm going to motion really quick.
So much for our bad idea.
We hustle.
And I run down the stairs.
Yeah, and you guys head down the stairs pretty easily.
It just seemed if we were going to yell about beds, we could do it quieter outside.
No, we don't have any beds.
Well, they're just up the stairs, though. They're literally like 12 steps away. We're pretty close.
So now we're outside. What? It's January.
I'm really obsessed on making sure these beds are communicated clearly. So these are the beds. I'm pasting a picture in the handouts. So these are literally 1920s hospital beds. So this is what I mean by like frame piping.
Yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure that's crystal. Okay.
I'm gonna walk around to the back door.
Yeah, so you step outside first and foremost, and this sense of almost it's a tough feeling to describe. Despite not knowing the area you're in, you always feel a sense of purpose. You always sort of have a general idea of, direction. Maybe not north, south, east, west, but you know when you step outside where the front of the building is, where the back of the building is, where you just came from. But when you step outside, the claustrophobic nature of this fog sets you almost reeling for an instant. It's reminiscent of the dreams that you've had of drowning in water. It's so thick, and despite its light color, despite the afternoon or early morning sun illuminating it to sort of a dull light gray, it still feels just as crowded. And Yan, as you sort of burst out through this door, you sort of stop for a second, and you can see the side of the building, and you can see sort of the faded dirt beneath your feet. But beyond that, you can maybe see less than a foot before you.
Sure we don't want to go out here?
Well, if we just follow the side of the house, shouldn't it get us around? Maybe there's a window we can peer in and see something interesting.
Yeah, let's look through the window. There's a window into the storage closet, into the cook's room.
Yep.
Okay. There's a window into the kitchen. Let's follow clockwise around the back of the hospital. Perfect. And look in all of the windows carefully, I would say.
Yeah, you're like, that's spikes.
Not like that.
Well, it's gross, but it's true.
Let's go around, to the back. Clockwise, you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Towards the kitchen?
Yeah.
Perfect.
So you start sort of moving against the wall. Again, you can only see... And to explain sort of the uncomfortableness and the sort of the buzz in your mind is playing tricks on you to the point where, because you can't see past a foot, it almost feels like, when you're going down a set of steps and you think there's one more and you take that step and you sort of have a fake fall type feeling, or you climbing stairs and the same thing. You're so uncertain of the steps you're taking because essentially every step you take is into the unknown. Yeah, and there's something very uncomfortable about that as you're each sort of trying to fight the urge to stop and to trust that you believe that this wall continues. And you follow it. Almost like crowding to it, almost as if there's a large pit a few inches before you. And you look into the storage closet. It's dimly lit. You see shelves stocked with, bandages and spare pillows, blankets, and jars of indescribable matter. The door is locked to this room, or shut to this room, I should say. But beyond that, nothing seems to jump out to you. There's a small step ladder. And you continue along. Eventually, you peer into the next room, the cook's room. In here, you see a small cot. Obviously, someone sleeps in here. And you can't quite make out the rest in the dimness of the day. If someone wants to give me a spot hidden, we can see if we can see more.
Yeah, I'll peer in the window and see if I can see anything.
I'll look too.
Whoa, bad roll. No, I don't see anything.
Also me, 92.
You sort of lean forward to look in, and your blood runs cold as you see a face staring back at you, Petra, and you sort of reel back before you realize that it's your own reflection again, sort of catching you off guard.
Nice.
God, I
So
definitely have
creepy.
some kind of brain damage.
Oh, but did it
Who's
look
that?
like? Did it look like the lady in the green dress for a second?
It did. The lady in the green dress.
Cool.
Whoever that is. And you continue moving around.
You know who I'm talking about, Joe?
No, I don't.
Oh, from
your story.
From your story.
From your
The old
background.
lady.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Lady doesn't even know her own backstory.
Excuse me.
I'm teasing. And eventually you come to the back door of the kitchen.
Okay.
I look in it.
You can't see through this door.
Why?
What do you say,
Because it's
guys?
not a window.
There's a window directly beside the door.
Yeah, and you look into the kitchen, and yeah, it looks like sort of a, there's a large prep area, an island, a bank of appliances. Looks like a kitchen. Pretty normal.
What do you say? Should we do an entire perimeter of the whole building? I don't feel good out here.
I don't see any movement in the kitchen. Let's go into the kitchen.
Is there any bulletin board where we might find a note, a chalkboard?
Can't quite see anything from outside.
Okay, fine.
Is the door unlocked?
Yes, it is.
Let's go into the kitchen.
Sneaky like.
Perfect. Are you actually sneaking?
Yeah.
Then give
Yeah.
me a
Oh yeah.
roll.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Did you say roll?
Yep.
Okay.
Fail. 97.
Oh, fail.
Do all three of you fail?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Are we doing a Three Stooges entry into this?
And you sort of
Little rascals.
Everywhere.
they just go everywhere.
He's putting in the back of the head.
And you walk in, stepping into pots and pans, and you're walking around them, skipping, sliding across the floor. Yeah, no, you're not stealthy, but you're not loud. And
Were there pots and pans stacked against the door as
No.
a?
no, I was just being
Okay.
funny. Nope, it looks like any other kitchen would be used. It looks like a well-used area. It's again, there are pots and pans, but they're sort of put away and hanging. Everything looks pretty old but well used. It sort of matches the style and date of this building. In fact, again, the entire feel of this building isn't just old, but also sort of run ragged, almost unpaid. It feels well used. And as you enter, you see the appliances. You see cupboards with coffee cups and a sort of station to make tea and a sink and a fridge. And because you're specifically looking, you do notice that there is a note stuck to the fridge. A note I will put in handouts.
We ignore it.
We ignore it and save the day.
All right, I grab the note and read it.
Go for it.
Is it? Oh, it's on. It's in the handouts. Please return all dishes to the kitchen when you are done with them. Thank you, Conway. My apologies, Conway. I'll leave you a key to my office. I'd prefer you just remember. McCullough is the one who leaves dishes in our office, FYI. I've put my spare key in the lockbox in your room. Code is the fog warning. What the hell does that mean? Got it. Thanks. Spare key in the lockbox in your room. Code is the fog warning. I'm with this guy on the bottom. What the hell does that mean?
Mm-hmm. Maybe when I see the lockbox.
Is Conway the cook in the lockbox in the cook's room? Is that what we're taking away from?
Well, I mean, that's interesting. Will Conway is someone who we know from the introduction of this, but that's out of character knowledge.
Please return all dishes.
Meta knowledge.
My apologies. Oh yeah, maybe I imagine Conway is the chef.
So I'll maybe go peek my head into the cook's room.
Okay.
Is there a lockbox in there?
Yeah, so you enter the cook's room, and again, you sort of saw it from the outside, a single cot, a writing table, and a large number of books all along the wall. Your eye sort of catches them. A lot of them about various 19th century American artists, Homer, Rockwell, Calder, Cole. And a small easel actually sits in the corner. And as you sort of look at it, Cedric, I would assume, is sort of following. And Cedric, you're sort of reminded of your own painting, but this one has only a blank canvas on it. And for a moment, you think of the last painting you drew. Do you remember what it was?
The last painting.
Or picture, I should say. The one that you drew.
Yeah. The picture I drew was of a boy bobbing in black water and a stone, I guess. The black stone.
The walls of this room have sort of sea trinkets, empty cans of Bronson soup mix, and two large paintings, actually. One depicting a couple dancing next to the sea, the other a man with two large fish in a boat. On the shelf is a small lockbox with a 4-digit combination lock.
I'm going to be perusing the art and just admiring is it like an amateur artist, or is it...
The art on the wall looks professional. It looks like reprintings, like forgeries of two pictures that you don't necessarily recognize. Well, you might. You can give me a rule for it, but they seem not done by him.
I shall.
Shall you? What are you going to roll? Oh,
that's my third roll in a row that's over 90. But it's a good thing I've got a 92 in art. Just dump all my stats into art.
So yeah, you don't recognize them either.
No. But they're nice.
Thank you.
Petra goes over to examine the lockbox.
Yeah, and you pick it up. It's a small, simple metal lockbox with a combination lock on it.
I look at the combination lock.
And it's 4 numbered digits, each 1 to 9.
Okay.
Does the opening of it look like I might be able to squeak a pitchfork into it and just give her a good...
No, not a pitchfork.
What about a bed?
The box itself.
What about a bed?
What if we dropped a bed on the lockbox? Just throwing it up there.
I will use a bed this episode.
I roll 1 bed. Okay, add your bed damage.
I got a pitchfork in the face. It's just they're enticing. I get it, but bed will let you down.
Add 1d bed to your damage. Roll a bed roll.
I'm adding 1 bed to my inventory.
All right, what are you doing?
Bed rolls.
Code is the fog warning.
What is the fog warning?
Just like, can I idea to know what the fog warning was around where I was?
Of course.
Great call.
There's like so many skills you can use in Call of Cthulhu.
Sure.
There's like spot hidden.
There's one called idea.
I got an idea and I got a success.
You want idea?
Yeah, give me an idea.
Yeah, there's like a whole sea of books next to you that sound sort of familiar. You're kind of like, hey, this guy might have something to do with fog warning in one of these books.
Yeah, let's read some books.
Give me a library use.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Shit. Well, I'm gonna peek my head out and just watch and make sure that nobody.
No, there's a thinker.
Actually, mind you, I've got really good library use.
Oh, I
Do you?
definitely don't.
Yeah.
So
Okay, Petra will keep watch.
Yeah, if you know how books work, that's
With
great.
her wonky eyes, she's like, I can see.
Don't, but can I use? I'm gonna use Bjorn's XP.
Yeah, go
Good.
for it.
Welcome to Bjorn's Emporium.
Did you say
Get your
that Petra
XP
has
here.
wonky eyes?
I thought you said earlier that she was like
There we
dizzy
go.
because of the head trauma or something.
Yeah, that was like
Wonky
minutes ago.
perception.
I'm sorry, your eyes are perfect.
57 is a success.
Yeah, I was like, that's a number. Yeah, okay. You start pouring through some of these books. You, sort of being an amateur artist yourself, you sympathize with this, and you recognize the pictures on the wall as by Winslow Homer, both of them. And there's a book in there specifically on him as a 19th century American artist. And you sort of flip to that section, perusing it. It's sort of a detailed section. Is there anything specific you're looking for? Do you want to try rolling again? Or do you want to try rolling something specific, like art or charm? You can charm the book.
Nice bindings.
I think I might just do a. Wow, you've got a.
Well,
nice
I mean,
line. Yeah, I'll do another library use.
okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the glossary, and I'm going to go to the table of contents.
Fuck yeah.
I'm going to read
There you go.
those.
And you know what? As you're looking through, it lists a lot of his paintings, and one of them says, "The fog warning."
Maybe that's
That
relevant.
can't be. Yeah, I flipped to that page. There we go. And I don't even need to do a library use.
No, and you recognize the picture on the page.
Is it?
It's the one on his
in
wall.
here?
Yes.
And I slowly close the book, or I close it with my thumb in it.
You
I walk
rip
up
the
to
book
painting
in
on the wall.
half.
No, that's not what I did.
It's like gaming with a younger brother. No!
I put my butt on the book.
Oh, don't! I roll for pooping. I roll for rubbing my butt on it.
And I'm gonna do a spot hidden on the painting.
On the painting? Sure.
Yes, the painting itself. Oh, I gotta select a die to roll first.
Petra and Yen.
That
you
is
guys-
a success.
Yeah, so you look over the painting, and as Cedric is looking over the painting, Yen, Petra, what do you guys? Petra, you just watch in the hall?
Petra is very worriedly watching the hallway. She's got the door closed to just a crack, and she's got her eye and her ear somehow both in the crack, waiting. and
Okay, give me a
watching.
listen roll.
Okay. I rolled success.
Yeah, you hear someone humming, and you hear them walking up the stairs from below.
Up from the basement,
Correct.
she whispers, "There's someone coming up to this floor. They're close."
And yeah, you hear the humming sort of enter the kitchen. Cedric, you're looking at this picture, and your spot hidden doesn't really reveal anything. You see the signature in the bottom corner, Homer. Yen, what are you doing?
Well, so we hear someone coming up, and we've got.
They're in the kitchen now.
Can we see them at all? If we.
Did you leave the door open or shut it?
It's like open this much.
So
like
yeah,
an
you
inch.
can risk it and take a little peek-see.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
What do they look like?
This is a good idea. Yeah. Yeah. Give me a stealth roll.
Oh boy.
Well, more so because the door was shut when this person probably walked by earlier.
Actually, that does it.
Amazing.
Look at that.
Yep. And yeah, listen, you watch a figure walk to this kitchen sink and sort of humming, washing their hands. And as they sort of bring them up, you see like all this dry blood on them. They're still wearing a gown, like you woke up in. And as the figure turns to face you and sort of turn, you recognize it as the captain. The captain of the Queen Mary. The grin cut upon his face, sort of reminding you of the diary pages that you read from him. And he sort of continues humming through gaping grin and turns and goes to exit the kitchen.
I will hold my breath and wait for him to exit the kitchen.
Yeah, and you do. Good job. You did it. Rob, you did it.
Didn't get a single pitchfork.
Good job. You get a pitchfork in the face.
Look at that.
I mean, he didn't have a weapon, so that might have been a good time to attack. But you know what? You do. Just teasing. He would have killed you. He would have killed you so much. Cedric, Yan, Petra, what are you doing now?
I open the book again.
Right.
And I look for any dates. I'm looking at the other note that we got, and it says that... Oh, and I tell the others, I say, I'm totally oblivious to the captain. I say, he says that the code is the fog warning. Oh, the fog warning is this painting.
What page of the book is it on?
This page here. And I turn, what page is the book?
284.
Try 284.
No, it's 4 digits.
0284.
Well, hold on. Maybe it's a date. If I can find when this was made.
Yeah, and you see the fog warning, 1885.
1885.
Petra dials it in. Do.
And for some reason, they're staring at her, crazily tapping her fingers and making a sound. As clearly she's just going insane. And yeah, with a click, it opens, and you see the small key to the office upstairs in it.
All right, where is the humming coming from now?
You can't hear it now, unless you want to give me an extreme listen success.
I'll try.
Do your best, forget the rest.
Ooh, 21 is a number. That is...
You're good at rolling numbers tonight.
I am. It is an extreme success.
Is it really?
No, it's a hard success.
So yeah, you don't hear the humming, which in itself could be telling.
I don't hear anything. Should we go back through the kitchen?
Yeah. Well, that's the fastest way up.
In the
But
kitchen.
no, might as well go around. Why not?
Wait.
Why would we go through the house where we know there's someone humming down here? So let's go around back, just like we came.
I mean, we're like...
Yeah, the steps are right there. We have to be on them anyways.
Yeah. I would say let's just go through the kitchen really quick. And quiet. Quick and Quiet is the name of the game.
It's actually Call of Cthulhu. We might have been over this a few times.
Shit.
Oh.
I really hope...
I gotta re-roll.
I really hope he didn't go upstairs.
That's
All
a
right.
good point.
Well, then we have
Cedric's-
surrounded.
I'm gonna start moving forward. Grab the key. Come on, you're right, Petra. Let's go. And I'm gonna start making my way towards the threshold of the door of the kitchen leading into the other part of the building to make sure to see whether or not he's going upstairs.
Okay. As you exit the kitchen and enter the main dining hall, you see all the tables sort of stacked and the chairs pushed to one side. And in the center, blood running towards the direction of downstairs. And it sort of leans and leads down the stairs towards the basement. And you see footprints, bare footprints, sort of messing all about, some leading to where you just came from in the kitchen
Like a black bear, grizzly bear,
Polar.
polar.
Yeah. And
Which kind?
that I know.
That's
You ask it. Now there's a fucking polar bear in the game.
Very
Good luck.
scary. Holy shit.
But yeah, there are footprints.
I equip the polar bear.
It eats your face.
No, it's no match for a bed.
What about a polar bed?
Ooh, polar dip. All right, so there's blood everywhere. Do I have to roll sanity for this?
Not yet.
Not yet.
The
You say I
footsteps-
just close my eyes and just
You've seen
feel
enough
my way
blood.
back upstairs.
I mean, at this point, is blood really gonna irk you? Let's be honest. I'm not gonna be unfair about this.
You saw Yan get stabbed in the face with a trident.
That should have been a sanity roll. My bad.
oh, there's a booger on the floor. Roll sanity.
You wiped your butt with the book. Roll sanity.
The footsteps are going downstairs or just kind of everywhere?
So there are a few sets. There looks like there's a set going downstairs, a set going upstairs, and a set going towards the kitchen.
How fresh is the set going upstairs?
Give me a medicine? How the hell would you know that? Go touch it.
Spot hidden.
Fucking
Spot
touch
hidden.
it. Spot hidden.
I'll touch it.
And touch it. Yeah, it's dry.
Well, we know that Clarence had bloody feet when he came for us. So that's one set of footprints. If there's only the one set going upstairs, either... Oh, did we see if the captain had bloody feet?
No, you did not.
Did he leave footprints going into and out of the kitchen?
There are footprints, yes. Yeah,
But there's only the one set going upstairs.
correct.
Okay, I think we should just chance it. It's possible that he's upstairs with no bloody footprints, but
Or he slipped on some shoes, or he put beds on.
Or he's riding a bear.
I nod and start making my way up the stairs.
Yeah, let's go. Quiet, quick.
Yeah, quick and quiet. And as you come up, give me a dexterity roll.
Bed.
All right, I will do that.
All of us?
Yeah, whoever was going first.
I was
so
going
not
first.
all of us.
I got a dodge roll or dexterity.
Dexterity.
Hard success.
Yeah. Nothing happens. You're good.
Cool.
Is there a bed?
Keep
crap
going
at the top of the
upstairs.
stairs?
Maybe you would have slipped.
Maybe.
And Catherine is sort of at the top, and she sort of ducks back. She's like, "Oh, you scared me. I thought you were someone else. I hear someone humming. Someone just came up from the basement.
It's the captain.
Someone came up.
The captain of the Queen Mary?
Shh,
Who's in the
shh.
kitchen?
We can talk in the other room.
Okay.
You're right. Okay.
We go
let's
upstairs. And we open up chamber number 4.
Okay. Chamber number 4 belongs to the chief physician, Dr. Derek Cummings. The key slips in easily, and with a click, the door opens. It's a well done office. There's some nice mahogany wood desk, and they're lying.
Cunningham?
Yes, and they're sort of lying. To be read is a report.
Let's read that report.
Who wants their turn? I think Petra.
I want to do it.
I'm sorry, I took the last two.
Petra grabs it eagerly.
Snatches it out of Cedric's hand
Cedric
and
is
spits
reaching
on his
for it.
face.
That. Give me that.
I'm sorry.
My turn. Dr. Cunningham, Chief Physician, Morden Memorial Hospital, Leary, Massachusetts, January 19, 1925. We were admitted on January 18th. Means it must at least be the 19th or the 20th by now. All right. It reads, "Today has been an absolutely horrific day. When I moved to this small backwater fishing and farming town, I thought my days of seeing men on stretchers, blood-soaked beaches, and carnage on such a scale as today would be over. Sadly, it was almost as grim as some of my most terrible days overseas. I want to get my thoughts down to purge some of the ideas that have been floating about and hopefully make some sense of it all. But first, a recap. Deputy Patterson came by around 0600 hours this morning. I wasn't even in office yet, of course. McCullough is the overnight physician here, so he met me at home. He asked me to get shaved and dressed. that he needed me and the hospital staff to immediately head to the section of beach by Warren Smith's pig farm. There had apparently been an accident. I like Patterson and consider him a trusted friend, but was admittedly surprised to see that it was he who brought me and the other staff members in and not the sheriff. He explained in hushed tones that Sheriff Hunt was nowhere to be found, but with the fog that had rolled in overnight, he wanted to move quickly. I grabbed my coat, bag, and had Nurse Stout contact everyone else. A cruise ship had crashed into the beach early this morning, only an hour or so before he knocked on my door. It was a substantial accident, far above our capabilities and efforts. However, Patterson let me know that he had called Arkham PD before reaching me, and that they were sending as much help as they could. At that time, that was enough for me. We got to work. There was myself, Luke, Russell, Conway, Nurse Stout, Officers Hancock and Lowry, and even the farmer who had been first on the scene, Warren Smith, helping out. I could tell the deputy felt like he was imposing on Warren, but the old-timer was willing to help, and honestly, we needed all the help we could get. The ship was hell incarnate. There were dead passengers everywhere, blood staining the hallways, violence in every corner. I wish not to dwell, and I fear that it would serve me no purpose other than to remind me of what I'm trying to forget. But the scope of what was before us was overwhelming, to say the least. We pulled as many as we could out onto the beach, but many were too dissected to be removed entirely. The project soon became futile, but we pressed on as soon as we found a survivor. There were a few spread out amongst the ship, but we found a number of them specifically in and around the cargo hold, which was amongst the last places of the ship that was checked, around 1400 hours. It was luck that allowed us to find them. They were thought to be dead, as every survivor found was unconscious. One thing I noted was that many of the bodies, including 2 of those were still alive, had odd cuts on their faces as if those lips had been removed. I hope that we can find out more about this when they awake. Did you hear that? 2 of those still alive had odd cuts on their faces. We've killed one of them, and the other one must be the captain downstairs. All right. Altogether, out of the seemingly hundreds of passengers on the vessel, we managed to find 8 alive, a pitiful number, and one Patterson and myself had hoped to increase with further dives into the vessel until Sheriff Hunt arrived. Well, that's the 6 of us, plus the 2 grinners. As I exited the ship's cargo bay around 1500 hours, a cargo bay which was oddly enough had a large cut into the side of it. A cargo bay which oddly enough had a large cut into the side. I emerged to find Patterson arguing with the sheriff who had showed up on the beach as we were continuing our efforts. Despite Patterson's efforts, the sheriff deemed entering into the ship too dangerous and halted our rescue efforts. As a doctor, I vehemently objected to this call, and Patterson, rightfully so, did so as well. His disagreement, however, resulted in the sheriff dismissing him from his role as deputy in front of the hospital staff and other officers on the beach. Golly. The remaining officers followed Sheriff Hunt's request and cordoned off the ship while we loaded up the survivors and headed back to the hospital. Patterson was visibly upset, as was the hospital's cook, Will Conway, and the 3 of us rode back together. I reassured him that he was trying to do the right thing, and that the sheriff, while perhaps misguided, might be trying to do the same. I'm not sure if Eve and I agree with that, though. When we returned to the hospital, Patterson phoned Arkham again, as they should have arrived hours ago, and I began to examine the survivors of the shipwreck. There were 6 John Does, 2 Jane Does, and 1 male child. Of the surviving men, it seems like 2 have these lesions on their face. I tended to those not visually wounded. Attended to those not visually wounded, which took some doing. Some broken ribs, some slight fractures, but nothing detrimental. For the others, despite their lacerations, they seemed stable, and so I first looked at the boy, which immediately became cause for concern. It was evident that he was in a comatose state. However, while not immediately obvious, it seems it was medical in nature. Between his toes, there seems to be an injection site days old. This brought a great deal of concern to me, and still does. When Patterson returned from his phone conversation, he shared what he learned. Apparently, Arkham PD had tried to reach us, but we were lost along the coastal highway. They were lost along the coastal highway. They said the fog prevented their safe movement. This was concerning to me, but not as much as the information about the boy which I had shared with him. He agreed that the circumstances surrounding all of this were extremely unsettling, and revealed that when he first arrived at the scene of the crash, there was additional evidence that concerned him. He explained that there were large drag marks leading from the exposed and damaged cargo section of the ship, and tire marks on the highway as if something large had been removed from the ship. Oh no. After discussing all of this, we agreed that until further notice, all the survivors are to be treated as suspicious. The level of violence and carnage aboard that ship is unprecedented and requires the utmost care. I've divided the survivors into those cut and those healthy-looking, save from a few bumps and bruises, helped those I can, and moved the women to their ward. The boy, however, is a different case. Seeing as we both agree the boy was in danger, we've decided to leave him with Patterson's wife and child. Geneva will take care of him while we sort out what's going on. Patterson is going to drive to Arkham himself to get help. Will Conway offered to join him, and I think that's a good idea. Will's a good man. I postulated that the ship's doctor may have information on what happened, and so I've decided to head back into the ship to search. To search for information and hopefully survivors. Damn the sheriff for trying to stop us. I've left Nurse Stout to watch over the survivors, and McCullers should be arriving for his night shift after sleeping the work we did this morning off. I assume Stevens will be in shortly too, though I haven't seen him since we tried to call him to help this morning. Hopefully he's all right. Wow. What time is it? Is there any clock in sight?
Yeah, it's like 7 a.m.
Okay, so it's the 20th.
His report should be dated the 18th. I messed that up.
Oh, okay, so it's the 19th.
Correct.
So we think there's somebody who's late then. Or we haven't seen. Steven should be here shortly.
A couple things stand out to me.
Yeah.
First of all, the child, obviously.
Absolutely.
Second of all, the drag marks leading from the cargo section of the ship, so I presume the obelisk is gone. Who would have done it? I have no clue right now. They left the boy with Patterson's wife and child. Geneva will take care of him. Patterson is the deputy.
Who was fired.
Yeah.
The boy, he's with Geneva.
Yes, who's Geneva?
I don't understand why you care
wife.
so much about a boy. Why? Catherine says from sort of the hallway, listening to all this. Why is that special? I don't get it.
Obviously, you were aboard the same ship that we were. Do you remember when we took on survivors from the Osiris? There was a to-do. There was a little boy and a man.
No, look, when all this happened, which I'm piecing together now, I was sleeping from my shift. I went to bed early. I was woken from a knock on my door by some psychopath. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, this all began with a boat in trouble. The Queen Mary saw a lifeboat in the water, and we took aboard 2 survivors. One of them claimed to be the captain of a ship called the Osiris. The other, little boy, was unconscious and not doing well. We volunteered to go back to the Osiris and deal with a murderous stowaway. And when we got there, this was Jan, Cedric, Abdul, and I, and one other. We found that the real madman had made his way aboard the Queen Mary, under the guise of the captain. And we saw carnage aboard the ship. We made our way back, and while we were there, we saw what you did. Awful.
And she sort of like huffs a little bit and walks out to the hall and starts pacing.
I'm so glad I decided to explain it all to her. She's so helpful.
She's helpful. She's thinking. Catherine's helpful.
What's our next move then? What do you think, Jan?
Well, the doctor's probably still at the ship. He seems like a solidly put together man.
I don't want to get back on that ship.
I don't have any interest in that either. The boy is with Patterson's wife. We know he's important. I don't know why, but we should, if we can make sure he's safe, that feels important to me.
Yeah.
And we have to. The ship is where the tracks with the obelisk leaving are. There might be some clue to tracking it down there, or something that was seen when they first got there. Because if that thing gets covered in blood, this is all over.
Scene. Did you said some guy who owns a pig farm. He was on the scene. Didn't the letter say that? Catherine says from the hallway.
Yes.
What's his name? Yeah, the old timer.
Warren Smith.
Okay, well, if they took something from it and this guy reported it, he saw the crash, wouldn't he have seen who took the thing from it?
He's the first one there. He'd have the freshest eyes on it. How the hell do we find Will Conway? Or how do we find him in this fog, the farmer?
I don't know. And she sort of walks over to the window and puts her head against it and looks down.
Do you think maybe they got a map of the town in here?
I'll just Google it.
You're speaking nonsense again, Pedro.
What is this?
Sure you're all right.
Beep boop beep beep boop.
Okay. So one course of action is find the site of the crash and look for clues there. What else could we do? Is there other stuff that we need to do while we're here?
I'm happy to get out of here as soon as possible. And hopefully without running back into that captain.
Certainly.
Yeah. Well,
There were drag marks. Obviously, there's some bodies in the basement, I'm sure. Is there anything that we can glean from that? Do we need to know who's dead here? There were mentions of lots of people who are supposed to be here. The nurse, someone who's supposed to come in on their night shift that we haven't seen, apart from the doctor who we found dead. Does it matter if we find them or not?
I'm not anxious to look at another body.
I know, yeah.
I think that what matters most right now is that we make sure that the boy is safe and that nobody spills blood on that stone. We don't know. The boy might be dead already if this town has turned into grinners as well.
It's a trademark optimism you got going on.
I'm sorry. I'm just thinking out loud here. I feel pretty doomed, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, let's head outside and see if we can find a cart or a car or something to get out of here.
Oh, that's a wonderful idea. I should like a car.
We'll go out the
There's
side
got to
door.
be a car.
We'll be right outside. We can walk around the outside of the building, see where we go.
What do we do with everyone? Do we take...
Bring him with us. If we go to maybe they'll be safe with Patterson's wife.
So all 6 of us head outside?
Yeah. We can't leave anybody here. There's a monster here.
So, the 6 of you head down the stairs, past the blood-soaked front hall. Raymond sort of averts his eyes nervously. Abdul sort of walks with a bit of a limp. And Catherine nervously shoots her head around as you each exit the large double doors of this hospital. The parking lot is a little more spaced out. The fog seems to have given a bit of way to the driving. You can see maybe 10, 15 feet in front of you. That thought alone sits uneasy in your stomach. The parking lot is completely empty, save one car. And Petra, as you think back to the key you collected, you feel it in your pocket and walk over, sliding it in to the door.
Hot damn.
The seaside town of Leary borders the sprawling farmlands and large fishing docks. It is reachable by a single lone coastal highway that borders the tall cliff the entire way. The fields surrounding are flush with faded golden reeds that meld into the ever-present gray sky. The days are almost always overcast. The air sends a cold sea wind that crawls up your spine as you each stand out front of the car, out front of the doors of the Morden Memorial Hospital. This hospital overlooks the town from its position, up the small hill just to the south, and for a moment the fog parts, revealing the town before you in the gray light of the day. It paints it in a wispy air of horror. For a moment you almost breathe a sigh of relief. The tight corridors of the ship, the blood-stained hallways of the hospital now behind you. You sense that until your eyes drift the moment in this parted fog towards the ocean front, and the sense of uneasiness returns. Boats, docks, nets lay all upon the murky black and brown of the muck and sand that once was the harbor. They sit dry, overturned, wasted upon the ground as you realize that the water has receded back. The ocean has not merely lost its tide, the sea itself has pulled back from the shores of Leary entirely, exposing the jagged rocks, drying seaweed, and blackened sand beneath the black waters before the fog once again rolls in to consume everything in sight. And we're going to end there. Hot dog.
Good game, babe.
Good job, ladies and gentlemen. You survived the pitfalls of the horror of the hospital of horrors.
And not a single bed was harmed. Episode.
I mean, one got a little dinged.
Catherine dragged out about 3 beds. I'm taking these with me. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Call of Cthulhu Game 2 Part 5. We're back next week with Part 6. I'm really excited to where this goes. This egg gets cracked. We have lots of leads, a town to explore filled with fog, and untold horrors that lie within, believe you me. So, I am excited for where this is going to just open up to. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not over until we do the endgame XP. Who do you think won tonight, boys and girls?
Good question. I was thinking there was, I think, someone new following along.
We have Fuhus.
Funhouse?
We have Fuhus.
Oh, Fuhus.
Adam Frey.
We've got Adam Frey. There's
Adam
a couple
Frey's pretty
newbies.
There was one person who stood out to me and was commenting from the very, 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 very beginning. And that's Mad Meg.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
She came back last week. We didn't give it to her last week, did we?
I don't think so.
No, Michelle was back last week.
Yeah, I thought that.
Michelle Becker.
Isn't that
Is
Michelle?
that Mad Meg?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
Too many
I don't
names.
think
You
so.
gotta keep the same names.
Got to keep the same name.
No.
That's how you win XP.
No, Mad Meg is new,
Okay.
right? Pretty sure. Mad Meg,
I
be
think so
honest.
too.
Are you?
Who are you, Mad Meg?
Oh no, Michelle's here. Hi, Michelle.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. Mad Meg's new. I guess.
Right?
She's
Are you part of
typing.
the Facebook group?
They're typing. She or he is typing. Let's find out. Hi. Yeah, they're new. They can have it. Because
Hey!
you're new, you get XP. It's that easy. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out with us. My name, as always, is Mr. Harlan Guthrie, and as my lovely friend Rob always likes to say,
Watch out for pitchforks.
he's muted himself. Can that be his sign off?
That wasn't muted.
No,
I
he
heard
said
it.
it.
Watch out for
He said
pitchforks.
it was a great sign.
I always say it, Harlan. Can you not hear me?
Wait,
still?
no, it's me. I pulled my earbuds out. Sorry, he's not muted. Then he says that. Good night, everyone.